The Zed to Zed Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Zed to Zed Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Freeman. Thank you so much for listening. At Zed to Zed, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. So I may have pushed it a little too hard last week after surgery, so I'm taking the week off to really try and heal up. Now, Tarragon, as he's wont to do, has decided to jumble up the show in my absence. That guy can't leave well enough alone, can he? So you'll have to let us know what you think of the new format and whether this should be a regular thing. And of course, January's over, so we have a brand new crop of contests to dive into, and it's a short month. Yikes! You can find show notes for this show as well as previous shows on our website, zzUrbanSpaceman. This is episode 59. You can also contact us with questions and comments on Twitter. That's at zzUrbanSpaceman, ZEDTOZED. Over at our forums, forum.zzUrban.com, or of course email us directly, contact@zzUrban.com. Today's show is brought to you by the achievement It's a Snap in the game Threes. This was nominated by NBA Kirkland for a very good reason. This achievement is quite simple, and it requires that you play the game Threes in Snap mode. And get you 199 gamer score. The reason it's important right now is that the new preview builds are rolling out and discontinuing Snap mode to speed up the UI. So whether this gets patched or they change the achievements is still to be determined, but it is better safe than sorry if you're planning on playing this game. Keep in mind the completion is pretty tricky, doing it legit, and very time-consuming if you use a solver. Special thanks to developer Hidden Variable Studio and publisher Servo. And if you, our fantastic listeners, have a suggestion for an achievement sponsor, let us know. You can contact us Twitter, of course, at ZZZEDTOZED. Why don't you chat with us over at Discord? You can find us at discord.me/Z2Z. There's that email, contact@zzUrban.com, or, you can even leave it in a podcast or iTunes review post. So, before we move into the regular show that Tarragon's doing, I'm not even sure what he's going to start with anymore. We'll just do a quick recap kind of what's going on in the world. If you're interested in any of the contests we have going on right now, of course, January is wrapping up. So if you need to find the ones that are active for February, you can do a search for the word active. Those are the ones that are ongoing. The January ones, as you put your submissions into the forums, we're putting the word closing in there. So you can do a search for closing, and that'll bring up all the ones that we are getting ready to wrap up submissions on. So, for instance, you didn't post your gamer tags. You still have a chance. We don't just shut it down on the first. You got probably 7 to 10 days or so, and then once they're done, the word closing becomes ended. So as long as it says closing, you still have an opportunity to get in and qualify for the prize draws. And of course, active is still active. So if it's closing, you can't earn more achievements, obviously, right? A January gamertag is the month of January, so your achievements have to be time-stamped for January, but you can submit them in February, right? And so we give everyone that opportunity. Of course, we have so many boosting and co-op rooms now in our Discord chat. And then we have got, so you can look on the side panel for LFG _ whatever the game is. Those are great places for game-specific chat, like Titanfall, Destiny, Overwatch, whatever. And then, of course, there's the generic LFG where we got people saying, hey, I'm looking to do some Prey achievements. Anybody around? I'm looking to do some Forza achievements. Anybody around? Those are great avenues as well for just kind of the one-off achievement hunting. And if you guys think we're missing a chat room, let us know so we can add that. We don't want to, keep anybody in the dark. And then we're still, we're about a few weeks into the GTASC. So if you want your team tracked, we'll start doing a regular recap once things maybe get a little dicey. Right now, everyone's kind of in coast mode certainly for the real achievement hunting. There's still so many of our friends list still in there. Only very, very few have let it lapse. And I think most of those just don't even care. So not a big deal. Other than that, I think let's move into kind of what everybody's been, whatever Tarragon's got up his sleeve. Here we go. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Freem. Today's show, we have 4 hosts on. Freem will hopefully be along later. We'll get back to us later. But it's myself, Tarragon, zzUrbanSpaceman. We've also got Proulx. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. We also have Damien, a.k.a. Spazpol. How are you?
Doing excellent. Got coffee.
Donald Duck there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the rainiest man on the planet, Randy himself. How are you doing? Don't say rainy.
Well, I'm always rainy. The leak stopped.
I was going to ask, is your room not so smelly anymore?
No, it still smells like stale water. It smells less bad. No, actually, it smells the same because when we recorded last week, the smell had gone down. Now it's just kind of stale water. So I got
sure
the
that's just not
dehumidifier
you?
going. It could be.
Try some incense or something.
But it stopped. It stopped expanding.
Something I haven't burned since high school.
Well, that's good. So that's good. You got the leak fixed anyway. So you're not going to die of lung rot or anything like that.
Yeah, not yet.
All right, so I'm just going to change the show structure a little bit this week. So instead of doing our full-on recap at the start, I just want to kind of go into just a bit of a highlight of the week for each of us. So I think I might kick it over to Proulx to start with. What was your highlight this week?
So, I've talked a lot about how I've been going through Skyrim, but this time I'm kind of doing it differently than I did the first time because I love these Bethesda games. The Fallouts, the Elder Scrolls, all of this stuff is right in my wheelhouse. It's exactly what I want to do. But the first time I played Skyrim, I played it for the experience of it. I learned a lot. So now I'm kind of going for the achievements. This time around, I've got one of the trickier achievements in Skyrim. It's not crazy tricky. If you know enough going into it, you can get it. But if you don't, like the first time when I went in, because I bought Skyrim on launch, midnight release, just rushed into it and did whatever I did, and I didn't care if I got the achievements or not. So this time, I knew, hey, there's a missable here. Let's not miss it. So I've got the Oblivion Walker achievement, which is for getting 15 Daedric artifacts, and there's a way you can kind of cheese it in case you miss one, but if you can very easily screw up that achievement and just never get the chance to get it back. Unless you start a new character, which is a pretty heavy investment in that game. So I have it now, which is exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. That reminds me a bit of Randy when he did Dead Rising, the re-release of it, and got, I think, what did you do? You got basically all 50 survivors and all of the other things that you could do as much as you can in one playthrough, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, basically what I did is I did the Zombie Genocider first. That was the first thing I did from level 1. Yeah. And that leveled me up enough and also unlocked the real Mega Buster. So my next run...
Makes the game a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah. I'm still not convinced you can beat Cletus without that, ever. I don't know. Maybe that's,
I did it.
Maybe that's just me.
Maybe you just suck at games.
And then my next real run was everything else. Like I set it up so I did everything in one run. There might have been like one or two things I think I had to do I actually did Outdoorsman in I think I did that in my 7-Day Survivor. So that was the only.
No, I didn't know you could get that in that mode. It's interesting.
Yeah, you can get it in any mode. It's just 24 consecutive hours, so you can't go inside. So you have to stay outside for the full time. Yeah,
game time.
Yeah, not real time.
Cool.
No.
So
I did it in the minimum amount of time, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice feeling getting that kind of thing done. I've kind of done it with Batman the 3 or 4 other times I've played it past the original now. Proulx, did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just going to elaborate just slightly. It's a game that people like to restart, but the way I play these games is I like to do one character and try to literally get everything done with them, and I don't like restarting that character. So basically, I'm a one and done kind of guy in those open world kind of games, and so I wonder
if that's sorry.
Go ahead.
You go. I was just going to say, I wonder if that was sort of one of the principal complaints with Dead Rising is that I think a lot of people like to play through their version and their initial playthrough and keep going, whereas Dead Rising from its initial release was really set up as play through until you die and then restart and always continue doing a new game plus, and that's basically how you progress is by dying and starting over with your level character. And that was kind of a bit of a different paradigm for the game, or for games in general, I think. And I think a lot of people struggled with that, or certainly had complaints about it, and the time limit, but it's only really a time limit if you're not leveled up enough.
Anyway. I don't know, we've debated this, but I like it. I really it's different, and it's
round 2
and it adds a sense of challenge.
I actually liked that as well. That's why I liked the Dead Rising series, but that's another topic for another time. Randy, what was your highlight this week?
I got the opportunity to play something very rare this week. I played the unreleased version of Max: The Curse of Brotherhood.
That's so the unreleased version, that was like a dev early release or something like that?
I suspect it wasn't. Given how ridiculously rare it is, I'm guessing it probably wasn't ever supposed to be released.
So because I
emailed the devs about it actually when they were shutting down, because I figured, I thought about doing this. They're going away. They probably don't care. Yeah, I'll shoot them an email. And they told me it was never released. So I don't think they know it was released.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I think what happened is that was a test version. They gave it to one person just as like a code to test it, and for whatever reason the achievements were turned on. And it was, from what I gathered from what you've been saying as well, it's actually a buggy release. There are quite a lot of glitches and bugs within the title, so it's not fully finished.
Sort of. Actually, once you get past the title screen, everything functions completely fine, except for a couple of things. So I think the reason that this is a separate title ID, making it a separate achievement list, I think it was done. I think the game was done, or effectively done. They published this to kind of do the final test and realized that there's some bug in the game that appears to write something to your profile. And once that's written to your profile, you cannot start the game again. So,
well, weren't you saying there were some glitches with some of the cutscenes and a few other bits and bobs? So
the other
it sounds like it was just a not quite finished title, like pretty close, but
two cutscenes at the end are missing. It just flashes to a white screen and then ends. But all the gameplay functions, which is good. But anyway, my thought is they had this bug, realized, okay, there's, under title ID, whatever, for the unreleased one is now written to all the test tags, and we can't start it again. So instead of fixing that, they just fixed it and then released a separate title saying, okay, we don't ever have to worry about this breaking for someone and they can't start the game again.
Yeah. That's an interesting theory. It could be that. In any case, it's extremely rare, and you got hold of it, so nice one.
Yep, and no questions on that. I cannot disclose any information where it came from, how I got it. That's all. I'll talk about the game. I can talk about the game, but I cannot talk about where it came from or how I got it.
And you basically just be talking about Max: The Curse of Brotherhood.
It's Max: Curse of Brotherhood with a glitch that makes it hang on the start screen and 2 missing cutscenes. Everything else is identical.
So anyway, Damien, what have you been doing this week?
I've actually got a fair amount of gaming in. So the highlight, though, I'll mention is something we'll be covering later in the Review Zed section. But in Pit People, I'm a huge fan of the Behemoth titles and the something switchy going on. So it's not technically the hardest achievement. Hard's a relative word in that game. It's not the most grindy achievement. All of the really high ratio stuff on the game is literally just running sim mode. But this is the one that forces you to explore the entire world map, and you basically find a secret area by activating switches that are on the main map. So you have to activate, I think it was 7 switches. So you basically have to uncover the whole map, and part of the game is if you go back to the pit area, the main town, enough times, the bear god, I'm air quoting, picks up your town and moves you to another world map. So you really have to do all the switches in one, outing, which really forces you, because if you start playing the game, you can't get into too many encounters because you'll lose part of your party class, and eventually if you get drug into a battle like 3 battles in and you haven't gone back to town to revive, you're not going to make it. So what you have to do is basically explore the entire world map without engaging enemies the entire time. Turn on all the switches and you'll find the secret area. So it takes a little bit of time to do, and it's just at that, I got drug into a battle, and the game is fun where I'm on this one task, but I got a side quest I can go play. Do I want to come back? I don't know. So it was one of those things. I had a few people in my party dead, and I was just trying to go just get to the area, just so. Because at some point I was carrying some stuff in my wagon, and I wanted to get back to town, so I didn't lose my stuff, even though I didn't really need it. But I wanted it. So anyway, it's a great game, and reviewing. But that was kind of fun thing doing the something switchy. So it gave you something to kind of exploring for. So
cool.
It was fun.
Awesome. Yep. So we'll hear more about Pit People later on in the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As for myself, in the interests of sort of following with my New Year's resolution to go back and actually start playing some of those good games on my backlog, I've actually picked up Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And I'd been kind of looking forward to that game a lot when it was released, and then due to commitments such as GTASC and the Balrog Bean Dive and various other things that were getting in my way, I didn't actually end up touching it for ages, even though I bought it on release. And it's now on EA Access, and I have EA Access, so it's great, just threw $70 down the drain. Anyway, so basically I just went back to that game. The achievement I want to highlight in that is a very early missable achievement in that game called Law Abiding Citizen. Basically at the very start of the game you get released from prison essentially, and the achievement is for, instead of running, you basically got to just walk slowly away from the prison thing. If you do any running along that section, you'll miss this achievement. You have to start over again. So because I'd basically completely forgotten how to play it after I had dived the game, I basically went and restarted and got that achievement, and I am really enjoying this game. It's a great game. It really reminded me a lot of what I enjoyed about the first Mirror's Edge, as in it's a kind of high... It's got a bit of a difficulty curve. You've really got to get used to the controls and the way that you maneuver and jump around the environment. But once you start getting the hang of it, it's a real joy just to do the parkour and jump around and get speed up and that sort of thing. So I'm actually quite enjoying it. Just playing through and doing random things, not really particularly aiming for any particular achievements, but the achievements are coming at a reasonable rate. So highly recommended if you like that style of game.
Does it control the same way as the original Mirror's Edge?
From what I recall of the original Mirror's Edge, yes, mostly. So I think you've got jump and slide, your left bumper and left trigger. So basically upper motion and lower motion are bound to use upper button and lower button on that hand. On your right hand, it's a bit different, I think, because they've changed some of the way that combat works. You've got activities with your combat now where you can quickly switch around your target. So you can basically just jump to their side and then bash them, and then jump behind them and bash them. I don't think you had that in the original Mirror's Edge from memory. And but certainly there's no...
If you wanted to play them back to back, it would be a smooth transition?
It would be reasonably smooth, yeah. So things like the 180-degree turn and things like that, that's all the same as I recall it. So I think it's like right bumper. But you have to buy that. It's actually a progression tree, and you actually unlock these abilities as you go. So it's it's a fair bit different. It's got the whole open world vibe, whereas the original Mirror's Edge was a lot more linear. You just play through the linear levels, except for the time trials. You can basically gradually open up more and more of the open world and play through, and it's really a lot of fun just trying to work out how you get to areas and things like that too. So, yeah, I recommend it. All right, well, let's move on to some feedback. First things first, Beamy7, both he and I hit our 120-day achievement streak, and he's donated another $10 to the podcast. So thank you very much, Beamy. That's much appreciated once again. But he also said that, I'll quote this, he basically says, I love the new podcast logo on iTunes and was thinking, so actually I just on that, how good is our new logo?
I like it.
I reckon it's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So thanks to Grug for designing that for us. That's much appreciated. But he was thinking, so Beamy, this is Beamy, how would you guys feel about selling some shirts with the new logo? I was thinking about setting up a contest type where the listeners could submit what they think the back of the shirts could say and an image, and have your new logo on the front and do some limited edition runs with the best submission. I actually really like the idea. I guess we'd need to work out the logistics of it and the costs and so forth and make it actually viable. We also have people in more than one country, which makes shipping quite difficult. When I was looking at the True Achievements shirts, for example, shipping them to Australia cost more than the actual cost of the shirts themselves. So it was just like,
I'll tell you, especially when we do the G-Task prizes, because that's a sweatshirt. And when the entire team was in Australia and Europe, I was paying more to ship those shirts than we paid Dabble. And that was
certainly I would want a shirt. So that's at least one Australian who's going to get one.
What makes you think you earned a shirt, Tarragon?
Oh, I don't know. I know. I don't do anything around here.
And our listeners are pretty widely distributed too, because I mean, like, we have a lot of people in the US, a lot of people in Europe, quite a good chunk of people in Australia. Like, it's a pretty good mix.
You should make it a DIY. You know, here's the Excel files. Go find your own local printer.
But I suppose,
hey, that's how old punk bands in the 80s did it. You want a Black Flag shirt, you get out a Sharpie, you make your Black Flag shirt.
Well, I guess the other thing,
original release. They're collector's items now, right?
I guess the other thing too is we're also distributed, so I mean, we could have them, like, you know, one big batch and then ship them once to each country, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
shipping can be expensive, but I think we should definitely look into it.
Yeah,
so we've been wanting to do this for a while anyway.
And as soon as that logo became our thing, I thought, you know, that would be awesome on T-shirts or on caps or things like that, mugs. So it's definitely something we want to do. Thank you for the idea, Beamy. We'll definitely get in touch, and once we sort of work out a bit more of how we would like to do it. But certainly even the competition idea and having custom things printed on there might be kind of nice too, just as a limited edition run. So moving on. 90 asks about the Assassin's Creed movie. So I don't know if anybody's actually seen it. Anyone here? Nope. Well, I saw it.
I saw the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about that as a
Space Trek.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, I'll just give my very brief, non-spoilerish review, and it's pretty hard to spoiler it because the Assassin's Creed, pretty much all of the concepts in the Assassin's Creed movie are in the games anyway. But basics of the Assassin's Creed movie are, yeah, that's about it.
Was it like Assassin's Creed 3? Did they make that one into movie form? So it's just like
I think that would have been better, to be honest.
Well,
God.
It's like, didn't they try to make it fit into the game continuity as well? Like, this is supposed to be.
No, it's. I think they probably could wedge it in there, but they really did break from a lot of the continuity.
Okay.
It's its own thing, which I think it had to be in order to work. Although some of the Easter eggs in the movie, they do actually sort of have like a museum area where they've got sort of various artifacts of things, and they do actually have like artifacts from Altair, artifacts from Ezio, artifacts from some of the other assassins from the games, but they're not directly referenced in the movie, nor is it sort of seen to be kind of part of the canon or anything like that. So it's completely its own story. They do mention the Apple of Eden, which is the part of Assassin's Creed 1, obviously, and they were looking for it in the movie. But overall, the story felt a little bit... I think just fell into too many of the kind of action adventure tropes. There wasn't really much sort of surprising or interesting about it. If you looked at the sort of the ideas of the tech and of the Animus and the way they did that was pretty good, but there was just a few things that really kind of sort of made me think it's kind of middling. I wouldn't say mediocre. It's probably a little bit above that. It's an okay film, but not great. Even given the actors are great, but yeah, the script didn't really do it for me. I'd watch it on.
Got me to write it. I mean, I wrote Big Race. I mean, it's it's a cinematic racing adventure after all. It's pretty fantastic.
I mean, they should have had a bowl of granola in there. That would have made the difference.
Absolutely.
So, as for whether I'd go see it, I wouldn't bother going to see it at the cinema. I don't think it's that great, but certainly if it comes out on Netflix or whatever, it's certainly something to put on, but don't expect a huge deal from it. It's not going to change your life. Last thing on feedback here, we actually got a YouTube comment, believe it or not.
I think it's the first one.
Yeah, and Randy, you might want to have a look at this one because it's actually it actually directly relates to the topic of that basically dominated last week's episode. Yeah. So, but it's from now this is going to be a slightly PG name here, but zzScrotum or something. It's SZKR0TM. I'll just leave it at that. He said he loved and hated all the Rock Band chat. Lol. I'm a huge RB fan, and what they did to RB4 is just horrendous. Pretty much agree with everything you guys have to say about it. I don't understand what they make a masterpiece that was RB2, and even 3 was great, and then take it 100 steps backward and put out what they did for 4. So that basically just echoes the entirety of last episode.
Yeah, I actually missed that there were 2 more parts to this. I saw the first bit, and I thought that was the end of it.
So so he went on. So he went on to say some more there. So Randy, you might want to comment on that.
So just to summarize, it's pretty long. If you want to read the whole thing, you can go to the YouTube video. But basically what he's saying, something that we didn't mention that is a valid point, is they're working on getting songs from older games released as DLC. And that's paid DLC. So, and what he's saying is he's annoyed that if you purchase the older games with the export codes that have now more or less all expired, there are some still work, but I know all the Lego Rock Band ones are done. Rock Band 2 is really hard to track down. I'm not sure if Rock Band 1 works, and the complaint is, well, okay, now I have to rebuy this. My thoughts on that are, your export code should still work because you bought the game, or somebody bought the game. Even if it was a long time ago, everybody else got to export. So why shouldn't you? But it is nice that they're re-releasing these songs for other people to buy, because that was always kind of a complaint, particularly with the 20 free songs that came with Rock Band 2, is unless you bought that game new when it came out, because it was, if I remember correctly, it was pretty hard to track down one of these codes after it was released.
Yeah,
you had like half the audience that had these and half that didn't, and there was no way to get them. So even if you came along after Rock Band 2's release, and this continued on to Rock Band 3, these 20 songs were never released, and there were quite a few pretty popular songs in that bundle. So that was a really nice free add-on. Like, it wasn't with the disc, but it was essentially, I would consider it part of Rock Band 2's soundtrack. But you couldn't get it. So now, maybe some new people can get them. But at the same time,
Proulx agitated there. I think he wants to say something.
It's just I think that I don't know. I don't understand this frustration. To be fair, I've had a fairly good track record with the exports. In fact, I just the only negative experience I had was with Lego Rock Band. I exported both, or not both, but all Rock Band 1, 2, and 3 into 4 with no problems at all. And when I first bought Lego Rock Band at launch, my export code didn't work. And then literally just the other day when the multiplayer patch came out, I had 50 plus downloads and all of my Lego Rock Band export was there. I mean, it hasn't been there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years since that game came out or whatever it's been, but it's there now. So, I mean, I guess I can't complain too much about it, but I don't think that of all the things to complain about Rock Band 4, and there are many, re-releasing this older stuff, which is very hard to get a hold of now, I don't think it's actually taking advantage of people. It's trying to like rip the people off who've already had those games. I think it's for new people coming in who don't have them in the first place. Yeah. One of the things I was a bit critical about with this comment was he basically says, I look at this, hey, I already bought your games. It's not my fault that your transfer code's expired or that your licensing ran out. Well, that may be the case, but the thing is that licensing this music is actually really expensive. And the thing is that they probably did the model based on, okay, we buy a certain amount of licenses, which are for the export codes, and if people don't redeem them, then we don't have to actually pay for that license. So after the code's expired, then they basically give up all of the licenses that they had, and they need to renegotiate a new contract with the music giants in order to get those kind of things going. Just from my own knowledge of the music industry, and maybe Damien could even speak to this, the music industry peeps are ruthless, and they will try and bleed as much money out of you as you can for their licensing, and that's
especially nowadays. I mean, it's even worse really, now with digital because of they need the revenue.
Yeah, so it's I don't really think you should be too hard on Harmonix for this particular thing, because they need to A, make money in order to survive as a studio, and B, negotiate these kind of licenses in such a way that they're not prohibitively expensive for the end customer, us, or for themselves to actually produce. So yeah, there's two angles to that, and I think the music industry itself is also partly the problem there. So
now the next thing with this that I was going to comment on too is apparently they've been releasing these old rehashes that are exactly the same. They're already in the game because exports work. It's just giving you the option to purchase those individual tracks. They've been releasing those weekly instead of new DLC. Apparently. So I haven't checked this. This is just a comment I read, but I mean, it doesn't seem that far-fetched.
I don't know. As of I think it was last week. I was on there buying new DLC. I mean, it may not have been a tremendous amount, but there was new stuff every time I log on. For what it's worth, it's anecdotal, I know, and I'm not on there vigilantly.
Yeah,
but there definitely seems to be new stuff. I haven't looked into
this too much.
Well, I think a lot of the complaints there are from people who already have that stuff, and they're expecting new stuff from their DLC. Yeah. Whereas you've got to factor in the fact that there are new people to Rock Band who have never played it before and who don't have those songs already. So that's where they're targeting.
I'm just looking at it you already have this. Okay, release 3 of these a week. And then, a couple new ones for the long-time people. I mean, it seems it doesn't seem like it should disrupt the DLC cycle.
I just feel
you're going to lose out on the people that already have it. I mean, you're not going to get their purchases this week.
I'm just there are 2+, maybe 3+K thousand songs in Rock Band at this point. It's not a big deal if you don't get a new song every single. If you're going to criticize Harmonix, and there's a lot to criticize Harmonix for, their DLC, situation.
Their backlog of songs is not the thing to be critical of.
It is not what you should be picking up.
And the pricing is very fair. I will always stand by that. As much as I hate them now, their pricing is super, super fair.
Yeah, anyway, let's wrap it up there, because we've talked a lot about Rock Band.
Yeah. So the rest of it, just to summarize the rest, that Rock Band is kind of losing the rock bit and now moving over to pop stuff. I think that's just the quantity of stuff in the game. And he says if there's a fifth Rock Band by some magic miracle that it comes out, which I don't think they really plan on anyway, he'll be skeptical.
So here's a question for you.
I would
let's say if Harmonix, let's say Rock Band 4 really fails, and let's say in a year's time, Harmonix itself ceases to exist, and who do you think would be best to actually pick up the Rock Band IP and go run with it?
That is a question.
Activision.
Oh no,
actually, no, not after Guitar Hero Live, but pre-Guitar Hero Live.
They already
maybe.
Destroyed Guitar Hero, so
Shovelware Empire.
Sure. Who would be best to pick up Rock Band? That is a good question.
Ubisoft?
No. Maybe
I
EA. EA's been in my good books lately.
I would actually personally go with Ubisoft, to be honest, because I can see them doing it. They've done good things with Rocksmith.
But they're so bad these days. The Lie engine is in full swing.
Yeah,
I don't know how you would.
I just don't. I trust them less than any other developer right now.
Well, yeah, I know you've got issues
studio.
with them for that stuff, but it's like they've done things with Rocksmith. They've got some pedigree there with rhythm games, with their Just Dance. So yeah, they could probably do it properly. They could probably do it justice.
They probably charge too much for it and lie about it. But yeah, overall, after you can get can get past that, they probably would do the best job. I will. Yeah, they have more experience than anyone other than Activision. And they haven't run any of them into the ground like Activision did with Guitar Hero twice.
Well, Just Dance is anyway.
But it's only once a year. It's not like 6 times a year.
That is true, but they are sort of running out of songs. Anyway, let's move into news. Okay, news this week. The Xbox One dashboard, the new one, has started rolling out to preview members. I'm not sure if you guys have been across any of the coverage of it, but there's quite a few interesting things coming out of that. It's called the Creators Update, and actually covers not just Xbox, but also Windows 10. There's a few nice little things they're adding in for the kind of cross compatibility and, well, not so much compatibility, but the cross support for the same kind of functionality. But a few things that were notables there was speed has been kind of a big thing that they've been talking about for this one. So speed of the dashboard in general, which has been a long time complaint of people on the Xbox One.
You know what happened last time they said the dashboard got faster?
Yeah, it didn't get faster for you.
Yeah, mine got slower.
I was going to say it didn't get considerably faster.
Not for me.
Yeah, this is a pretty major revision. I think just a highlight of this, and we'll get to this as a separate topic, but amongst the things that are being changed in there is Snap is being removed completely, and that's being done specifically for performance reasons. So we'll talk about Snap in a little bit after we sort of go through some of the other info here. But the speed of the dashboard has been one of their big things. Also, they've been working on their UX, so that's the user experience, quite a lot in order to basically give much quicker access to commonly used functions. And by that, basically, it seems like they're going back to the Xbox 360 style of single button press to get to a dashboard, which then gives you access to the things that you want to do. So that is a big change. Yeah, it'll be a single press rather than a double press to get to a quick access thing, which I've fumbled on that myself a bit, and I think a lot of people have.
Do not like the One dashboard.
Yeah. So the overlay will be basically have a lot of that stuff on it. The achievements are changing. So as the achievements app is going away, this time for good. But instead, what you can do now is overlay achievements on your view, so you can track them and keep them off front and center whilst you're playing a game. And I think you can put up to like 3 or something like that and lock them in place. So rather than keeping the achievements app snapped all the time, you just have this little overlay of the achievements. So that was an interesting change. I'll wait to see that actually in practice because I haven't had a chance to really look at it and see what it does. But that will be our new achievements app and watching the tracking. The other big thing as well is broadcast is actually being built straight into the dash. There will be a new icon for broadcasting, and that's basically also linking into their rollout of Beam integration with the Xbox One. So you'll be able to basically go almost essentially a single button press, they were saying, to go and start broadcasting to Beam, which I think's going to be a big thing. The Twitch stuff has been okay, but has been getting steadily sort of worse. And I actually really like what Beam are doing. I really actually like how snappy it is as far as your interaction goes. There's just no lag. So yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff that's coming out with the next update. I've been hearing some reasonably positive feedback from a bunch of the people on the preview, and they've been talking about it a lot over the last week. Now, Snap Mode, as I mentioned, that's being removed from the next version. Now, what that does mean is that there will be a number of Snap-based achievements which are going to be discontinued. Probably the two notable ones that most people who listen to the podcast are going to want to take care of is Threes. Threes has a achievement with like 199 points or something like that for snapping the app and playing a game. So if you have Threes, I don't know whether they'll patch that. I suspect they may, but at the moment it is going to become discontinued once the new app, the new dashboard comes out. So get that now before that goes away.
And that's the only one that we know of that actually has a gamer score value that's going away, right?
That's true, yeah. Everything else that's been Snap related has been apps. So the only app that's probably really important to our listeners would be the True Achievements app. I think that has one, maybe two related to the Snap feature. I think just from some of the chatter I've got from behind the scenes in the staff Discord, they will be looking to update the achievements so they can be obtained outside of Snap mode, but at the moment that is pending being discontinued fairly soon. And there are a lot of other apps that have a Snap function. So I've actually been personally going through, just for further Game Info team, been personally going through and just auditing every single X1 app just to see whether or not they still work. So there are a bunch that are actually going to get, I'm going to be basically delisting and writing off all the achievements because they're the new UWP version of them come out and disable all the achievements. But there are still two or three, I think, that have Snap-based achievements that you should go for, which I have made a forum post on our forum at forum.zzz.com, which has a list of all of the achievements that are Snap-related, so you can run through those. In fact, there's some of those I noted afterward are actually challenges, so they're kind of irrelevant anyway. Why would you ever challenge to snap an app? I just don't. But these are app challenges too, so it's even more pointless. So yeah, Snap going away. Probably a good thing. Watch out for Threes and for the True Achievements app. Moving on, we have Square Enix and Marvel are partnering. Proulx, did you want to cover this one? I think you had some personal interest in this.
Well, I absolutely do, because I love Marvel. I mean, specifically Marvel, the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But this is fantastic news because they're kind of they've obviously conquered the movies. They're kind of rocking it in TV, depending on which side of that you're on. And they do some animation and stuff, but now they're finally
Jessica Jones for the win.
All their Netflix stuff is amazing, and I cannot wait for the Defenders, by the way. Okay. But now we're starting to get a collaboration with a real video game company to do some real video games. And I mean, it's Marvel's approach seems to be now kind of coalescing into a giant combined universe, for better or for worse. And I don't know necessarily that this is going to be part of their everything we know, but they're partnering with a very important and significant video game company to make video games. And the first is going to be the Avengers. And of course we get the teaser with Thor's hammer and Captain's shield and Iron Man and stuff. So this is exciting. I'm pumped. I'm excited for this because while Marvel games have kind of been hit or miss, unfortunately, to say the least, some have been really entertaining, some have been pretty good, and then some have been just duds. If they can bring their same pedigree to the games that they have to the movies, I think we're in for a treat. I think this could be really, really exciting. And by the way, this is coming from somebody who, oh God, maybe I've played one or two Square published games. I don't even I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. I don't even know any developed games from them that I've actually played. But they're at least trying. They're reaching out to a company that's well established and, in the industry. So I'm excited about this. I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, well, what I'll be interested to see is the Kingdom Hearts 3 with dropping into the Marvel universe. That would be so you can just be there with a Final Fantasy character as your main, and then Donald Duck and Goofy on beside you talking to Iron Man. That
it makes a lot of sense.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
In fact, I didn't even think about that aspect of it, but it's almost certainly why this happened, right? Because Disney already has this kind of established relationship with Square.
Exactly.
I honestly hadn't considered that, but that makes total sense. That of course we have this pre-existing.
If Disney were going to work with any game developer, it's going to be Square.
I mean, they
now they don't have their own.
Sorry. That's
Crandy, did you have anything to say on that?
I was just talking about Vaporware 3.
Oh.
Well, interesting you should mention that Kingdom Hearts 3 on their webpage, they actually put Xbox back on to their list there. So it's coming again.
I just meant in general. It was just like this whole big deal when Xbox One was being talked about, like, Kingdom Hearts 3, and then it just went dead silent for like 3 years.
Yeah. But
then they announced something once.
Yeah, it's not just Xbox though. It's like Kingdom Hearts 3 is sort of like, we're releasing it. 2 years of crickets.
Well, no, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about Xbox. I just mean in general. They had this whole thing. They're like, Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out and it's coming to Xbox, and then nothing.
Yeah,
it was just
gone. That long just to unravel how the story works, I think.
But they're going to release 2.8.9.33.576 on DS or whatever for the 1800th time.
The story, you kind of need like an entire Wikipedia just to explain how that story works. It's just ridiculous and convoluted. Anywho, Avalanche Studios, they are back. This is actually one that Freem put in, so I'm not too across it, but they were the Disney Infinity dev, and they're kind of back, and they're working with Warner now to do Cars 3, as it turns out. So, don't know that excites me too much, but it's always nice to have a studio come back. Guys,
this
thoughts?
This is the Cars 3 that is dark and gritty. So this may be very different than the Cars you're used to.
Wait, are they pitching a Cars 3 that's dark and gritty?
Have you not been paying attention to this at all?
No.
Is this like the Chris Nolan revamped Batman Begins version of Cars 3? It's
so the original teaser of Cars 3 didn't. It was just kind of the racing cars going by. You couldn't see the front of the cars, so you couldn't even tell that it was quote unquote cars. You could just see these. It was like NASCAR, just the people going by, zoom, 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 and then it was like, oh, everything changes, right? And there's a car wreck, and then you come to find out that the car wreck is Lightning McQueen, but you never see the faces, like the dopey car faces. So it's like supposed to be serious and dark and gritty. I don't know. We don't really know what Cars 3 is going to be yet, but it seemed like from the initial marketing that it was supposed to be taken seriously, as opposed to Cars 1 and 2, which was cars talking cars. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. All right. So I put in a couple of little things here. Microsoft Solitaire, UWP. I'd noticed there were a few comments, and I'd seen this myself. The medal tracking was not working for a while there. So you would earn your silver and your bronze and whatever medals, and that just wouldn't tick up on the achievement tracking. That is now working again since the latest update. I can confirm that myself because I now officially have one bronze, 1 silver, and 2 gold, which should be impossible. So you won't get it. It won't retroactively work, but if you tick over the gold now, it will actually track properly. I can also confirm that you can actually now buy premium on UWP because I did that because ads. Last thing as
and
well.
Double coins. Double coins.
That is true. Does indeed. Xbox achievement tracking had a bit of an outage on Friday. This was playing a bit of havoc with the GTA SC, so it's the Great True Achievements Scoring Challenge. Now, normally this wouldn't be anything to comment on. There's always outages all the time. However, the actual thing that was pretty annoying about this for me is before I realized that it wasn't working, I had actually been playing through a game and I'd unlocked some collectibles, which was meant to move some of the tracking up on my achievements. I then got to that point and realized, I've heard through the forum that the tracking was off, so I stopped playing the game. That's fine. Saved, quit, came back later when everything was working again. That collectible that I got just didn't track. It's gone. So, there's a game I'm playing called Silvio at the moment. You need to go through and collect these like 10 tapes basically of this recordings. I've got now, I think, 8 of them, and my tracking only says 70%. So I've lost one of those. And I suspect
there's
some of
an in-game trigger, I guess.
Well, yeah, the thing is that I've actually collected more cents. So I think when I noticed it, I had 6 tapes and it was only 50%, and I'd collected 1 during the outage. Whereas now I've collected more, and I'm up to collected 9, and it's only on 80%, which means that I've just missed that trigger. So yeah, I don't think it's going to re-trigger. Some games may deal with that differently, but I think there's just some progression I might have lost there. And I've probably lost some other progression too. So that might be something to be wary of if you happen to have been playing during that period where there was the outage. You may have lost some of your tracking on some of your collectibles and so forth.
That seems so weird though, because it would work offline, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you think that outage would just be like you were playing offline?
You would think so, but it didn't work for me in that case. It might even be just game specific. But yeah, just something to look at. Maybe just to double check your progression if you happen to be playing during that period. But it seems all right now. All the tracking is doing the right thing. So yeah, let's move on to recapping. First things first, GTA SC. Now we're all on GTA SC teams. Proulx, how's your team doing?
Team random randos. We're doing okay. We're just under the mark last week, and the other random guy, one of the other random guys on my team, used the bonus we had. So,
yep.
I don't have a lot of confidence that we're going to be very successful going into the future. So it's okay. It's fine. It was,
So you might be our first official casualty then.
It's possible. Yeah. There was a lot of talk beforehand about not allowing the G task to affect your gaming, and I haven't at all. I don't pay attention. I don't want to say I don't care, but it's not anything that's going to change what I'm doing from week to week. And apparently that's the same case for my teammates. So yes, it's possible that we'll be the first ones out.
I've been trying not to let the G-Task affect my gaming too much, but I've noticed that for most of this week I've been sitting on negative points, and I'm kind of, for the individual, I'm looking at getting dropped out. So I've actually gone, I better play something just to get some points up. So I've been playing a bit of Batman to kind of try and get myself over the threshold. Not there yet, but we'll see. So my team's been going relatively well. I think we're just adopting the just do whatever. And most of my teammates are actually fairly high scoring, so we're sitting pretty comfortably. At least we have been. This week might be a little bit different just because of the individual bonus, which is for the individual bonus you need to earn 3,000 gamer score, which has been pushing up the line a bit for both team and individual. I'm personally not going for that, obviously, sitting on negative points, but I know that it's been making it a little bit harder. I think we're just above the cutoff at the moment for this week, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. And Randy, how's your team going?
It's
fair
fine.
enough.
We aren't kicked out. I think we got some points. We're above the cutoff. It has not affected my gaming whatsoever.
Fair enough.
Just like I said, they get my points.
Now, I don't have the list of the other G-Task teams here, but I can just rattle off a couple of them. So, Kitty Games, I think that's you and...
That's us, yeah. We're nothing to see here but Kitty Games.
Yep. And we also have, Punch Kangaroos, that's my team. Can't Quit Our Day Jobs, which is CS Geek Squad, What the Foog, and some other Mr. Costi, and who else is in that team? I'm Fresh, 336669, and Tropan. Well, they're still going, being very not casual, but based on their chat. And Elite with Added Dangerous, that's Red Dragon, Swords, Giant Hunger, and some other people who aren't actually on the Discord, I think. So, yep, they're all still going, but we'll just have to keep an eye on you, Proulx, because you might be our first dropout. Boo. So what else have we been doing? Proulx, did you want to talk to the games you've been doing this week, besides Skyrim, of course?
So I've been playing Skyrim a lot, and wait, you said
yeah.
No, I have actually been playing Skyrim a lot, and I'm really pushing towards the back half of that game, but I won't get into it because I talked enough about it. Other than that, what I've already talked about, I don't want to get too much into some of these games. Killer Instinct, obviously Season 2 has been free with Games with Gold recently. Yep. So I've got to play with some of these Season 2 characters, which is fun. It just kind of means that there's more for me to do now because I didn't have these characters before. And I was already behind on Season 1, but I'm going through it. And it's one of those games. It's like the game that when I'm between games, like if I'm waiting for a session or I have nothing to do for a half an hour, I pick up Killer Instinct and I work on that. So, same thing with Rocket League.
Just before you go on there, I think with Killer Instinct as well, and Randy was saying, I think you mentioned it in the chat, because it's free. Killer Instinct, the Season 2 is free. There's a lot of new players coming in who aren't very good, so now's actually a pretty good time for trying to get some of the ranked achievements that are out there, because there's a lot of influx of new people, and you've probably got some reasonably easy targets. So
I can confirm Noob Season is still in full swing.
All right. So
not quite as full swing as last week, but
still there.
It's good. Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. Go on through.
No, it's okay. So it's the same kind of situation with Rocket League, although Rocket League is more dependent on who's on. Love that game. I play whenever I can with people that I know. It's not a game I play by myself. It's just like, hey, we have 15 minutes, we have 20 minutes, we have an hour here. Do you want to play Rocket League? So playing through that as well. And then, of course, our Thursday night Titanfall session. And unfortunately, Freem isn't here to kind of recollect with me the fun memories that we had. However, we had a very special guest this past Thursday, and Tarragon.
Really? Who might that be?
Tarragon decided to join us for our Thursday night Titanfall session. Tarragon, didn't you have fun?
For the brief amount of time I was in there, yes, killing lots of Titans. They were just basically playing. When I was on, they were just doing Last Titan Standing. So it's interesting. I've got to the point in that game now where all I need really is Spectre kills. And, of course, playing Last Titan Standing, there's no Spectres. So, well, until I worked out that you could get out of your Titan and just go and kill the Spectres that are on the map. But and then people like you would come and squish me, which is like, thanks, Proulx. And then even Freem did it. Freem came along and was like, oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize you weren't like things. Trying to get something done here. God.
We've reached...
You've reached critical mass on Titanfall, haven't you? Because there's just too many people. So I ended up dropping out because I was kind of a late addition and unannounced. So, but I actually
split up into two lobbies or something.
Yeah, I actually had a public holiday the day before for Australia Day on the Thursday, and I took the Friday off just for the long weekend. So I was able to drop into the session just because of that.
I will tell you, I felt, and I think other people felt it too. I felt guilty that you dropped out on Australia Day of all days, or at least
it was the day after Australia Day.
Observed Australia Day. It's fine. It's fine. No, it was wonderful to have you, and even with you there, Tarragon. We have gotten to the point now that this session is so popular that we have to break it up, and which is interesting. It's kind of changing the dynamic of things, and I don't want to discourage anybody from joining if they want to, because at this point we start off and there's 5 or 6 or 7 people, and then it just grows and grows and grows, and people just join throughout the night. And, there comes a point where we just have to say, okay, we're going to cut it off, and then we're going to do this and this and this, and whoever wants to work on this is going to do this, and whoever wants to work on this. It's still such a fun time. It's the largest gathering of Zed members that I've been a part of so far, and it's very unique and interesting for that reason.
Yeah,
it's great just to jump in the party, even if you're doing solo stuff. There are people that just leave the group and just do their own thing on Titanfall, and we just talk and have a great time. It's super fun. So, and it was great.
I think Joe has similar sentiments regarding the UK one as well. She'll often, after they finish their session or whatever, she'll just go off and do something else, but stay in the party and keep chatting with the people who she was working with on the Titanfall sessions, because it's just fun.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Randy. There were 3/4 of the main crew there. It was Tarragon. Well, I don't say main crew, but there were 3/4 of us there, and everybody but you was in Titanfall. So where were you?
Yeah. What the hell, Randy? What were you doing?
I don't play Titanfall. I don't have it.
Well,
no, I kid.
It's even got like leaderboard achievements and stuff. Actually, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Don't worry. If it had leaderboard achievements, I would know.
Speaking of
no leaderboard achievement makes it by me without getting caught. And there is one coming.
It's got a 0 point Gen 10 achievement, Randy. You got to go for that.
I would if it was on my tag, but it's not. There's a reason it's not on my tag.
So I didn't mean to take it. So go ahead.
There is a new leaderboard achievement coming though. Windows 10.
What?
Yeah, it's like give me 5 game. 2 leaderboard achievements. And they're real ones too. They're not resetting. They're real leaderboards.
You better start right away.
Oh yeah. As soon as that thing goes live, I'm on it.
So, real quick, other than that, Sonic the Fighters was on sale this week for $2.50.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was on my list for the world record when it's very super quick.
Yes,
nice
I think 15, maybe
points.
20 minutes.
Yep.
I took me to get the 400. A terrible game, by the way.
Oh yeah,
terrible game.
Terrible.
But you get the easy points, and you'll never have to touch it again, and you'll never even have to look at it again because it's so ugly. Oh god, that game is ugly. I also picked up and completed in one day, and not just one day, like 2 hours, the game Megamind. I'm trying to complete a game every week, so that was an old 360 game that I picked up and is super easy. You could just, if you want to, just pick it up and get it done.
You're really going through that whole world record attempt thing, aren't you? Megamind is on there as well. It's got some there's like about 400 points in that you can get within 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. So it's
for sure.
It is
on
the list
done
for
that one
speed.
for my completion month. I've had that one for ages. I still haven't played it.
Less than 3 hours for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Nice. There's a couple of achievements that are a bit tricky. Just the ones where you need to like not get hit or not die or something like that. You don't get hit by some of the enemies, but they're not too bad.
So I think my easy stuff is going to sit for a bit though, because I got to get some stuff off my tag. I just want to cracking down this year. I say that
every year.
Does that mean you're going to be playing Crackdown a lot? Is that what you're saying? No,
that's what I heard.
That's a good one.
Pre-release Crackdown 3, I can tell.
No, that'll never release.
Oh,
it's vaporware.
In fact, it already did under the name Saints Row 4. That's the last game I have to bring up. This is the last thing. We talked.
Well, this is for both of us.
Yes, both Randy and I talked about completing. Well, I had just about completed Saints Row 4 on the 360 last week for the show, and Randy has since completed that game. And by the way, did you know there is another game, Saints Row 4 re-elected, which is double the fun, and it's exactly the same game.
So much fun. It's So it's really funny because they're like, oh yeah, Xbox One version, updated graphics, whatever. It's the same. The graphics are the same. It just has more frames. So the horrible graphics just look kind of smoother.
We're actually encountering more bugs in the one version that we did in 360.
So the game is, since Saints Row 2, Saints Row has been like a whole co-op thing. Like, playing co-op. Well, we tried to play it in co-op. It mostly works. It actually works just fine, but the achievements don't. Only the host gets the achievements.
But
only the story
pet peeves.
only the story achievements, though. Everything else works just fine, but just the story achievements. So that means if you're like halfway through the story, you join your buddy, you play like 3 missions, and your buddy pops an achievement that you missed. You got to replay the entire story to get back to that achievement if you missed it.
Nice. And of course, if you're doing it all in co-op with a buddy, you need to do it in co-op twice just to get the...
Yep.
So we're doing everything, and we're doing all of the, I'm air quoting here, open world gameplay. That's what they call it. They call it open world gameplay, which is
so
just
much gameplay.
Finding 1,500 collectibles and doing a bunch of stupid activities that aren't fun.
So besides Saints Row 4, what else have you been playing this week, Randy?
I think I've been playing even less than last week. I mean, I've been playing the same amount of time, just less different stuff. So, as I mentioned, Killer Instinct, Noob Season.
Yep.
Making some good progress. It's really funny because, like, I've said this before, I intentionally throw a bunch of matches, and I've had a few more funny encounters because people are really confused. They just don't understand. Like, you're in a ranked match, you should be trying to win. Why aren't you approaching me?
Yeah.
So I had a guy, he hit me. No, he didn't hit me at all. He waited 95 seconds, then hit me once, and then won on timeout. He just sat there for 95 seconds. And I was matched up with this guy 4 times in a row. So,
oh, man.
He beat me the first time. Second time I beat him, like, way beat him. Third time I needed to throw a match. So he was just super confused.
What is this guy doing?
Oh wait, no, maybe the first one. The first one I threw.
Right.
That's why he beat me. Then the second one, I beat him by like a sliver. Like, he had me down in danger, and he had a full bar, and then I won, which was super intense. I love those fights. So good. Then the next one, I just stomped him, and then the fourth one, this was my last fight of the night. I think I beat him again. Or that was the one that, I don't remember. Or that was the one that he sat there for 95 seconds and then punched me once. No, it was that one because he switched characters midway.
Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, and then I was just done because I'm like, clearly nobody is on because I just keep getting matched up with this guy, and I'm sick of beating him.
Oh my God. I want your Killer Instinct online experiences. That has never been my experience.
Well, he was like, I don't know, he was a silver tier, so I got too much for beating him. Like, that was the thing. If he was like a qualifier or a bronze, I would have just kept stomping him. But he was silver, so I could only beat him twice before I had to throw a match again, which takes too long. And he was good enough that I didn't just like totally, it wasn't like a 20-second match. It was like a 50-second match, which is too long.
Yeah, but I hate that. Fighting for too long.
I know. 30 seconds. Whew. So yeah, Killer Instinct, Noob Season, fun times. I played some Gears of War 2 with Jack, that's one that's been on my tag for so long, and it's like, I'm like a few hours away from finishing it. I just want to get it done. So we're getting that done. I owe him an insane playthrough. So we're working through that. And then the majority of my time, again, Guitar Hero Live.
Strumming to Seinfeld?
Yep.
That sounds dirty.
I'm up to 650,000. My arms are starting to get sore now, which is bad because I've got still more than 1 million to go. So
I'm glad I haven't bought into this generation's round of rhythm games.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Except for Bella Latino, that was fine.
I don't think that counts. I don't know. It's looking like unless I get a really good session in this weekend, I don't think I'm going to hit that one this month for the to-do list, but we will see.
Speaking of the to-do list, it's actually, by the time this airs, it'll air on the day that the lists reset. So maybe we can just talk about our lists and how we're going. Speaking from my own point of view, my list is not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything else with it. But Randy, I think you were doing pretty well with yours from what I recall last week. Until you hit Guitar Hero Life.
Yeah, so I slowed down. I was thinking I was going to finish Ghostbusters this month. I may still do that, but what ended up happening was my single-player time, I've been putting a lot of effort into Killer Instinct because of the amount of, like, it's noob season, and I'm kind of seizing that opportunity. I know it's going to come around again, and with my new method of throwing bronze matches, it'll be a little easier to win consistently, but I want to get as much rank done as I can, because that can be extremely time consuming, particularly with some of the lower damage, at least for me. Some people are good at playing the low damage output characters where I am not. So, and also the slower characters I tend to struggle with. So I've been kind of working through some characters that I think that I would have a harder time with, and you know, if I really pushed, I could probably knock out one ranked achievement a night, which would sometimes take me a week otherwise.
Yeah. But I guess that's been distracting you from the rest of your to-do list then.
Yeah. And then on top of that, now that we've started the second round of Saints Row 4, I kind of needed to make some progress in single player, because before we were playing in co-op, we were kind of balancing between getting collectibles, doing the open world gameplay, and the story to kind of progress to unlock the things that we wanted, where now that's kind of single player time. So when we do our co-op time, we just rip through as much of that lame content as we can, and then do the story in our own time. Right. So between Killer Instinct and Saints Row, those have kind of been distracting me, but depending on how much Guitar Hero I play this weekend, I might end up going and playing some more Ghostbusters.
Okay.
But it's currently sitting at 8 achievements at, I think, about 1,400 points. Which is
so 8 achievements is about 7 more than you normally get on a month. So that's
pretty much this month I've done more than all of the other months combined.
I think I'm still sitting on my average. I'm sitting below average now at the moment. I think I've gotten 4. I've usually had 6 each month. I'm not going to be getting any more this month. Proulx, how about you? How's your to-do list going?
I'm also discouraged. I was hitting between 11 and 15 every month. I'm at 9 right now, and I hit Street Fighter 4. I'm just so bad at these fighter games, and I 2 or 3 nights in a row I just dedicated to getting one of the 2 achievements. They're the 2 of the 4 bottoms that I have, and highest point values, and I just can't. And I was so discouraged. I'm like, every other time once I finish the session, I'm like, I'm gonna go play Skyrim. I'm gonna have fun, because I can't hit my head against the wall.
But Saints Row fun. Saints Row fun is so fun.
That's
all the fun you could ever need. There's $80 worth of fun in that bundle.
Street Fighter 4, there's an achievement in it for getting all of the titles. Do you know that achievement?
That is the one I'm going for.
Well, that's really interesting, because that's actually ended up on my list as well. And I just looked at that and went, nah. Nope.
It's not even like, so you see that you have to get I'm sorry. I have both of them. All of the titles and all of the personal actions, they're called.
Right. I've just got the titles one. That's my highest rank one for the month. And I was like, nope.
And I'm going for the personal actions first. That's what I was like. I'll go for the personal actions, and then I'll go for the titles, because it seems reasonable. No. It's oh god, it's so frustrating to go through a game for 3 hours and make no progress.
Yeah.
Like I'm not built that way. I can't do it. I have to drop it and do something else, because I will throw my controller through my television.
That's the way you get better at those kind of games, though, is you have to know when to put them down, because that's like Dark Souls, in my case, Demon Souls, which was my first Souls experience. That was really what it was, is I would play it, and then it would get to the point where I'm like, I I can't play it anymore today. I want to keep playing, but I know I'm just getting mad and frustrated at this point, and I'm not ever going to make any more progress. So that's really what you do. You play it until you get mad, and then you turn it off and you come back tomorrow, or you come back in 2 days or in a week or whatever, because that's just how you get good at those games. Like, Killer Instinct was like that first time I played it too. That was before Combo Assist came along. And I was like, I want to learn how to play this game, but
also,
not today.
I don't think it helps that I would quickly, not necessarily back to back, but I would quickly switch between Killer Instinct and Street Fighter, because
very different.
It's very different, and I'm like, how do you throw people, and how does this work? And I don't know, whatever.
Well, and just the whole way of playing, where like Killer Instinct is all about kind of reading people, and Street Fighter is like crazy input combos. Like, it's very, very, very different play styles.
So, anyways, to answer your question, Tarragon, this is going to be my lowest month. Unfortunately, Random To-Do List is like my highlight. I love playing these games, going back and playing these things. It's so much fun to go do these things that you didn't get to do before. I think I've given up for this month, honestly. I hate to say it, but I'm excited about the next month.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to next month. What I did this month was, now, as you guys know, and as most of our listeners know, I have a hugely ridiculous large collection of also completely random, obscure, and not so great games. And of course, all of those were being picked for my random to-do list. So what I actually ended up doing was I exported my entire game list down, and I basically went through all of them and marked a significant amount of those as done with, so that they won't appear in my random to-do list, because there's just a lot of games there I actually just do not want to play. As strange as that might sound, they're the kind of games that I've gotten just to dive or get on my tag, because I kind of like obscure titles, but I don't necessarily want them to come up on a list that I am then forced to play them for hours and hours to get the particular achievement. So I managed to whittle my collection of unfinished games down from about 1,100 or something like that, down to about 350 odd that I actually do want to play. So I'm hoping the next random to-do list for me will actually be a bit more interesting for me, and I won't be looking at it going, no, I don't want to load up that obscure dating simulator game that I would have to study Japanese for about three weeks to actually get anywhere with. Not really interested in doing that one. But I am, but not this week.
Now, so, do we have an achievement minimum for random to-do list?
What do you mean by achievement minimum?
Like a minimum number of locked achievements on your tag?
Yes, there is. It's 500. So,
okay. I'm not quite there yet. Because my concern is now I'm actually running out of base game achievements. Is a lot of I have about somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 locked achievements on my tag.
Right.
And like, tons of them are from Killer Instinct and kind of other DLCs that I know it doesn't seem like get picked.
Yeah, to be fair, so anything DLC won't get picked at all. I would need to do some work to get that done, and I'd need to liaise with TA to change the API for that. But with the 500 limit as well, that's really that is an arbitrary thing, and that's basically probably won't really be enforced unless we see somebody actively trying to abuse the system by only putting 25 achievements in their list and that sort of thing. So it is there more as if you're below this and we think you're abusing a system, then we're going to jump on you. But if you're below and it doesn't look like you're gaining really any advantage out of it, it's not really something we're going to jump down people's throats. It's certainly not automated. It's not automated at any rate.
Really, if I hit that, I can put some unstarted things on there, because 500 is fine. Yeah. But no, I just wanted to add to Random To List to it, and it is great because it motivated me to play Saints Row 4, which is a game I've been putting off years.
I can't see why. You obviously love the game. I mean, why would you?
I mean, it's lovingly known as Saints Row Fun. I mean, it's so fun. $80 worth of fun in that bundle for like $20.
So much fun.
So much fun. But yeah, and it's great because, I mean, the way I'm using it is basically, unless it's a game, like Killer Instinct that doesn't really have like a main story or kind of a main progress where you just kind of jump in, it's an arcadey style game, or like Seen It. Like Seen It is probably the best example, where you play games 20 minutes. You can get any of the various achievements in that time. Unless it's a game like that, and those I usually just pick up right away. I use it as something to go through and finish a game that maybe I've put off for a long time, like The Darkness. I haven't finished The Darkness yet, but that's one I keep saying, yeah, I'm going to get to that one. It's been 3-4 years, still haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, that's most of my collection as it happens. Yeah, I'll get back to that.
But with me, I only have 90. I only have 90 games like that, and then and that's including the ones that are just things I've been putting off, like Bloodstone. Bloodstone.
Yeah.
That's a grind.
Yeah. Anyway, at this point, I would have kicked it over to Damien, but unfortunately he had to drop out earlier, as is probably evidenced by the lack of comments from him. His baby was getting a little bit upset, so he had to drop out. So for my own recap, I will start this recap off talking about Marathon Durandal, which is... or Durandal, or however Americans pronounce it. I pronounce it Durandal. Deal with it. Marathon is an early game by Bungie. It was essentially a Mac version of Doom, but better back in the day. And it came out after Doom, but it was actually, it did a lot of things that Doom didn't, and it did them better. And it actually had a coherent story and it was well regarded. And certainly a lot of the concepts in Marathon came forward into the Halo series, certainly a lot of the multiplayer especially. But Marathon, I had a hankering to actually go and play that again, just because I'd played Marathon 2. It's actually the second game, Marathon 2. So that was fine. I actually went and bought it, downloaded it, went and played it, got the first achievement. It's worth 7 points. I went, that's interesting. I'd been looking for something to get my tag onto 7, because there's an active challenge this month for getting 2017 gamer score. So I just completely accidentally got a 7-pointer and thought, hey, that means, and I then went and stuffed around working out how I can actually calculate all of my achievements, and I added another 20-pointer from somewhere else, and I got my entry in for the 2017 challenge that zzUrban has on our forums. Have either of you guys attempted that one?
No,
Nope.
But I do have questions about Marathon.
Mm.
Are there any multiplayer achievements?
There are.
I would love to play through Marathon. I mean, I'm a huge, I guess you would call them mid-Bungie fan now. But I've always wanted to go back and play that game. I had no idea. I mean, I remember vaguely that it came out as an Xbox Live Arcade game. But how is it in that form?
It's pretty much exactly as I remember it, but it's still Marathon. I guess I must have played that first and second level so many times that I basically know where all the secrets are without even having to look, and I know that you need to pick up something and do a grenade jump to this place to get to this thing and unlock that thing. So yeah, but I basically want to play through it again because I've pretty much forgotten half the story, and I just want to sort of sit through it. But there are some tough achievements in it, which I think one of the tougher ones actually is, let me just look it up, but you can actually kind of cheese a bit of it by doing it in co-op. They introduced a co-op mode, and it means that you only have to play, I think, about half of the levels. There is only half of the levels are actually set up for co-op, but you can get the game completion in co-op mode that way. So, let me just quickly look it up.
If you need a partner for that, Tarragon, I would definitely be interested.
Yeah, for sure. But it won't be easy. The multiplayer achievements can actually all be done local with extra controllers. So I'm pretty sure there's not, except for one. I think there might.
Are you sure it's not a system link?
I'm pretty sure. There's only one I think that actually requires a real person. So as in you need to go online and do something.
It's got 2 $5 DLC packs with 1 achievement each.
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe buying it, but I don't know about that.
I would love to go through this. I absolutely would.
Yeah, so
would really enjoy it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hook up a time. For sure. Yeah. The achievement that I need to look at is it World Domination? No, that's a viral. It's one that you basically got to play through the entire game. You've got to punch every switch rather than using the activate button, which is one part of it, and you've got to play through it on the hardest difficulty, which is like Total Carnage or something like that. And yeah, it is. If you were doing it solo, it would be ridiculously difficult. But there is a way to kind of cheese it, so that might be what we'll do. Here we go. Yeah, play on Total Carnage, kill every Bob in every level. Now, Bob is the name for basically your allies. So they're just called Bobs. I think it's actually an acronym, but I forget what it's for. But basically, they warp in, they do some stuff for you, and often just warp out. But later in the game, there's actually fake Bobs, and they start saying some really weird things, and that's the way you can tell that they're fake Bobs, and you've got to shoot them and not kill your regular Bobs. But of course, just like in Halo, if you shoot too many Bobs, the other Bobs turn against you and start shooting back at you. So, but I think you've got to play on Total Carnage, so the hardest difficulty, so you basically can't get hit much. Kill every Bob in every level, and also you have to activate the switches with punch or grenade them or rocket launcher them. So yeah, but you can do it in co-op, and that's easier because you start from the middle of the game. And with 2 to 4 players as well. You can actually apparently play this 4-player. That's interesting.
So I could join in.
You could.
I don't know. On in. Maybe my friend back in the old country has the DLC and I can borrow it from him.
So it's
that's the case.
It's interesting. It's the first Vidmaster achievement too. So I don't know if you know the Vidmaster achievements from the Halo series, but that's the first one.
I will investigate and get back to you guys.
All right. Yeah, so I would definitely like to do that because I was looking at that achievement going, oh, that looks hard, but yeah. But the multiplayer stuff's pretty straightforward. Can all be done as far as I can tell with local split screen. Anyway, moving on. I used Death Smiles to continue my streak. Fortunately, I went away for a sort of a work conferencey thing, and it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I had to rush out the door, and I was like, what do I need? What can I get quickly? I can go into Death Smiles and pause, which gives you an achievement. So that was a bit of a saver for my streak. I also added about 20, 25 apps to my account this week, just going through testing whether the achievements worked. So my dive stats have been really good this week. The Titanfall session, we covered that already. I did a little bit more of the UK group, did I? No, it was just this week, wasn't it? Silvio is a game I've been spending a lot of time in. Now, Silvio is kind of like... have you heard of the concept in ghost hunting where people listen to static or listen to noise and try and hear voices and various just things apparently from beyond the grave in static or in just in silence, or like they'll put a tape on and just record a room and then they'll play back that recording, but they boost the volume up so they can apparently hear voices and things like that in the static. Mm-hmm. Silvio is based around that entire concept. Essentially, you've got to wander around, you've got a recorder, and you're recording voices and ghosts and things like that, and you've got to play it backward or forward or faster or slower and things like that to extract extra voices out. And because you're listening intently, the entire game is really creepy in the sense that the audio is so intense, you're listening to it a lot to try and hear these signs of where there are ghosts and things like that. That it's actually quite a creepy game, even though it's a cheap indie title. You can tell that just by the graphics. It's all been done in Unity. It's certainly not nothing amazing to look at, but it's actually as far as atmosphere, the audio really makes that game, and just the mechanics of it, because you're focusing on the audio so much, really drives it home. So if you kind of like that kind of creepy game, definitely take a look at Silvio. I also said earlier, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, really enjoying that game, but I won't go into that too much more. And I've also picked up, I started playing Batman, the Telltale Batman again. And I think I recall last week or the week before, I'd started it and didn't really grab me. I finally finished the first episode, and that what they're doing with the universe there actually did grab me. So I can see where it's going now.
Yes.
So I'm probably halfway through the second episode now, but so we'll see. Not as disappointed with it. Maybe I just didn't quite get to the good bit of the first episode.
It's all good bits. Yeah.
I think we're going to be doing that in reviews Ed soon.
Yeah, I think that's coming up
Batman,
soon.
We were talking about it this week.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to Well, what are we doing this week? I just want to sort of cover that because obviously, Proulx, you'll be in the Titanfall sessions. I've been trying to get a Destiny 360 session going, but just getting enough people together to actually make that viable hasn't really happened. So it hasn't actually happened yet, but if anybody wants to ping me and just suggest a time that might work for me, which is basically only going to be most people's Fridays or Saturday evenings, I'd like to get that going, but other than that, I don't really know where I'm going to be this week. But you can always hit me up on Twitter. It's at 22TMA, and certainly on Xbox Live or True Achievements as zzUrbanSpaceman. Proulx, you're in that Titanfall session.
I am normally, and I am 90% of the time. I'm actually going away for the later half of this week.
That's right.
Vacation.
Yeah, so you and Randy won't be available next week. So, God, guys, leave me in the lurch here.
I'm actually going to go see Proulx at the end of this. At the end of this weekend, I'm stopping
We're going to
by.
play some fun Band 4. It'll be a great time.
It will actually be fun. That's the thing. I'll bring my drumsticks.
Yeah, you should. I will be. I'm actually going to be away for the Titanfall session. But I'll be around until until we drop the episode. So I can't really say I'm going to be around that much this week.
Okay.
But yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. But where can you be reached?
I can be reached obviously on True Achievements or Xbox at Proulx, of course.
That's P.
Maybe, you know what? People may not know how to spell that.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because, come on.
It sounds exactly like it's spelled. I mean, it's obvious.
Pretty phonetic, guys. Come on. Don't be ridiculous. It's actually Proulx. But you can also find me on Twitter at OneUpDan. That's the number 1, not the word.
Right. So 1-up as in you are playing Mario and get a 1-up mushroom.
Like I got a 1-up.
Yeah.
Like I got one more achievement than you did that session. So no big deal.
Right. And Randy, what are you doing this week and where can we find you?
I don't know. I'm going to strum and watch Seinfeld probably, play some Killer Instinct. And if you ever find me in Killer Instinct and you're in Discord, I'm a free win. That's offer still stands for all of Noob Season. Because why not?
Community service.
I was thinking, so we were in discussion, myself and Proulx and Fug from the chat about starting GTA Heists, although this week probably isn't great, so we'll probably start that next week. And another person. So we do have a full group, but if that ends up changing, there will be a slot open for that. People with evenings, Eastern time availability. Mm-hmm. Probably going to do that a couple times a week. We've been playing Saints Row Fun. Probably going to play more Saints Row Fun. $80 of fun in one package.
So much fun. So much fun.
So how much was that? How much was that package?
It was like $20, and there's $80 for the fun.
And
it's a great value.
Was it fun?
Deep silver value. Oh, it's a lot of fun. No,
so much
it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
Okay.
And probably more Killer Instinct, Guitar Hero, maybe Ghostbusters.
Go and get that last random to-do list thing. Just do it.
Yeah. Actually, no, the other thing that I want to start that may or may not happen this week is actually start to work on Bloodstone, which is, it comes up in my random to-do list all the time and I just want it gone. Yeah. So it's like a huge boost. I've got 4 of them.
You could always just mark it.
I might as well just do it.
Mark it done with in your collection and it won't show up in your random to-do list.
No, but I don't want to do that because then the to-do list is going to motivate me to finish it because I get like 2 achievements in that game every month and they're never multiplayer. If they're multiplayer, I would do them. They're always single player and I don't want to sit down and do the story until I'm done the multiplayer.
Because you're strange? Why not
we'll see. It doesn't work like that. And it seems like a fun game. Anyway, so
it seems like a fun game, so you're not going to play it. You're going to play Saints Row.
I don't want to just. You don't like games, do you? Play it. Well, I don't want to start too many because then I just get spread too thin and I don't get to experience them.
I swear, you're the only guy who I think enjoys talking about how much they hate games more than how much they like them. It's like,
Well, I don't know if it's good. It's just the first impression.
You just want
It
to
seemed
punish
like it was
yourself.
decent.
It's like you've got some kind of
Because you
Stockholm
gotta get
syndrome
them
thing
done.
going
You
on
just
here
gotta
with
rip the
games. It's
Band-Aid off. Just get Saints Row done. I have to play all of them, and then I'm done with it. I never have to play them again.
the games don't love you, Randy. Just let go. Let go. Anyway, so where can we find you? Yeah.
True Achievements, Crandy, Crandy. You can message me on Xbox, but I probably won't see it. Twitter at Randy2727, or of course in our Discord chat room
Of course.
at Randy2727.
Reach all of us.
I'm pretty much Randy2727 everywhere but Xbox Live.
You should just change your gamer tag, dude.
Well, I have it. I have that gamer tag. It's just my dummy account.
So you should change your dummy account to something else and then change your main.
But then I have like a short gamer tag with no numbers.
Right. But,
which is important.
But you could be.
I've
Randy,
actually
you could
had
be Randy
Xbox support
2727.
comment.
You could actually have your gamer tag with your surname in it.
That's true. That's true. I could. But no, it's funny. I've actually had Xbox support people comment on my gamer tag, being like, "Wow, how'd you get that?" That's because I've been on Xbox Live for like 9.5 years.
Even better than having that is having a gamer tag with one syllable and no numbers. Just saying. I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying it's nice.
What's the longest syllable you can think of?
Oh, there actually is a word.
No, I'm sure that's
the right answer.
That's pronounced Proulx, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Peroxide.
Oh boy.
Space Trek.
Yeah.
Come on! All right, we got to close up the show, guys. We've had a good night.
That is the Games with Gold game this coming month. Space Trek.
No, come on. Anyways, let's see you later, everyone.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
All right, let's quickly, Knobs and Discos, not a lot I've got to report here, but there will be an imminent demise of those Snap achievements, as we discussed earlier. And I'm personally going to be going through and cleaning up a bunch of the apps, and a lot of those achievements are actually going to be discontinued or just simply delisted. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for our side of the show. So I'll pass over to the review, and then I think Proulx will take on the outro. So thank you for listening up to this point, and here's the review.
This week's review, Zed, we are talking about Pit People.
Yay! So, Pit People is published and developed by the Behemoth. It was released, it's right now on Early Access. So it was released to Early Access on January 13th, 2017, and currently has an Xbox Live store price of $14.99 for Early Access. It will be, it's scheduled to be $19.99, slated to be $19.
Oh, so it's cheaper on Early Access.
Correct. It's cheaper on Early Access than it is out of the game preview. The price is supposed to go up to $19.99. So if you are a fan of Behemoth titles such as Castle Crashers, Alien Hominid, it is like you're getting a 25% off sale price buying it now in advance. So.
And you get to play it right now.
You do.
And let me say too, it seems basically done. I mean, other than they mention when you start it up, and as you experience, the story part isn't quite complete.
Yep.
But in terms of like all the gameplay and the mechanics, everything seems final anyway. I mean, maybe they have some more plans, but you wouldn't know unless they told you, basically.
Yeah. So I've been actually playing this a few times in what was it? It was PAX 2015, so it would have been two years ago. They announced at the time it was called Game Number 4. So the reason being, this is the fourth full title by the Behemoth. First being Alien Hominid, then Castle Crashers, Battle Block Theater. So this is the fourth game. One thing I like about what Behemoth does is, while there are a lot of things that run, I guess you would say concurrently through all of it, they have a lot of the same narrator voice that was used in Battle Block Theater. The animation being done by Dan Paladin is consistent throughout, and even I don't know if you've done Castle Crashers on your primary tag, but if you had played Castle Crashers or beat it, I'm not sure which because I've beaten it, you actually get the Castle Crasher heads in the game, kind of like they did in Battle Block Theater. If you had played Alien Hominid and Castle Crashers, you could actually get those masks as playable, accessories, armor. Which
no, this one was actually my first Behemoth game. So
okay.
I own Battle Block and Castle Crashers, but I have not played them.
Yeah. So one thing that would be to note kind of on our offline discussion, if you had played Castle Crashers on the tag and then you go into Pit People, you will actually get the 4 knight heads, the orange knight, red knight, blue knight, green knight, and they will actually, those helmets give you buffs. So they'll give you, like the red knight gives you fire defense and the blue knight gives you ice defense. So
what you're saying is, before I complete this game, I should start Castle Crashers.
Start Castle Crashers. Yeah, exactly. Well, you can live without the gear, but hey, every little bit helps. So,
yeah.
Now, I guess with that though is, so this game's a turn-based strategy. So let's I guess.
Yeah, we'll get into it now. Yeah, turn-based strategy reminds me a lot of kind of a combination of the original Final Fantasy and Civilization, but much more simple.
Yep.
I would say almost a little too simple. It's not like bad or anything, but it's just kind of basically the gear is mostly cosmetic. Leveling doesn't seem to do anything. And it just kind of takes away an aspect that maybe could have added some more depth to the combat.
I definitely agree. If you're playing in game, you notice like at the bottom it's like team hit points, and if you actually have it pop up the information on the players, you have their attack, their defense. It has that potential for a lot more, strategy, just like you even mentioned. But what happens is to the point, your characters, they'll level up, but it does not do anything. You could have a level 80 character versus a level 1, and they're kind of on par in terms of their strength. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was kind of noticeable too, is there's an achievement for beating the, what's it called? The insane unfair challenge.
Yep. The unfair challenge, and you have to turn the game into on insane mode to do it.
Yeah, so basically what that is you win 3 consecutive battles against, 5 or 6 AI opponents.
Oh, on the insane, I think it's like 7. And what happens is after each round, you don't get a chance to heal, and you have to just keep playing through. So if one of your characters dies in, say, round 1, in round 2 you start with that one character having died.
Or if one of your characters is about to die, they're still about to die in round 2.
Yep.
So with that can actually be done at level 1.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It really comes down to just the party you make that's kind of set up to be an endurance type crew that can survive or heal or whatever in between rounds and keep going.
Yeah, I think the thing is it has a lot of potential, and this is one of the, because the achievements are live and the game's fairly live, but it's in game preview, there's things where we're not 100% sure if that's going to change, right? It's that the leveling right now doesn't do anything, and it's semi-frustrating, but that's not to say that it's just a certain element that they'll fix into the game. But I don't know how you would... Well, I guess that would be the thing. It would be... That gets into the arguments of the smart leveling, right? Where you go and you play through a game, and it was like Borderlands, where the characters dynamically level around your party.
Oh, where they scale to your level. Yeah,
they scale. But then the problem is if you have a party of level 50 guys, and then you throw one person in your party mix that's level 1. He'll probably die before he even gets a chance to hit anything.
Well, and if he does, it's probably going to scale everything down to level 40. So level 50s are just breezing through, and you just sit there and die. Yep. Even if you hit him, it's not going to do anything. So yeah, I don't think it scales. It doesn't seem like it. It just seems like level is kind of arbitrary, at least at this point.
Yep.
Which, I don't know, at the same time as, it doesn't do anything and it's just kind of a number saying how much you've played. At the same time, it's also kind of nice not having to worry about it.
Yeah. No,
because you can just, you find a new fighter, you can just swap them in your party. You don't have to go grind levels for an hour just so they can keep up with the rest of your guys if you want to swap them in when you're halfway through the game.
Yep. So yeah,
but
it
would be nice. It would be nice if gear did a little bit more though. Is level I'm fine with because that keeps it kind of an even playing field for the strategic part of the game, where you don't just level up to 80 and then just demolish everything because you spent more time playing than the guy you're playing against. But if there was more emphasis on swapping gear, that kind of gives you a way to kind of tweak your team a little more and, I don't know, kind of have more potential for different combinations.
Yeah, I think that, and that's one of the things where it's nice, and it's that catch-22, right? It's nice that you have it where it's very easy to pick up. It's very quick. I mean, it really forces you to focus more, in my opinion, on the story and the quest and just the humor that is the behemoth type titles that just draw you into the quest, because you're not so focused on, oh, do I have the best armor and there's thousands of types of weapons out there, and you're going, oh, I really need a quest for this, versus it's just doesn't really matter. I mean, there's a few that again maybe make a slight bit of difference in terms of a buff, but it really allows you to focus on that story play. However, that trade-off is, if you're used to having played Final Fantasy titles and all that, you could sit there finding yourself going, hey, this game's great, but man, it's not very hard. All in all, the hardest things in this game, quite frankly, is just finding, I think I talked about it in the show earlier on my achievement for the week, is there something switchy going on? And not just it's not really that it's hard to do. You just have to avoid battles because
you just have to not get distracted.
Yeah, exactly. And just focus.
I think that was my second achievement in the game, was that one.
Yeah.
Because I just started wandering, because, I just started going exploring. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll just check it out. Then, I found a couple of switches, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should find the other 4.
Yeah.
So I just did.
Yeah. Now, so one of the nice things on this game, what that achievement allows you to do, though, is it really does force you to go around the map and start exploring it. And not in the sense that you're going to get missed away to this, magical land. But I love the animation. I love that it's all just, they have a style. The Behemoth kind of, and Dan puts a style into it that is, I don't really find a lot of titles really quite out
no,
there.
it looks good.
Yeah, and they do,
and it's its own, and like you said, it's its own style too. It's not like they're not like these amazing graphics, but they're a style that is. And I don't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast, but when I was playing Halo 3 with my friends when I was back in Canada a few weeks ago, we noticed that Halo 3 looks really good. Not because it had amazing graphics. It did. The graphics were fine, but it had a style that does not really age. Of course, in 20 years it's going to look old, but it's not going to look like a game that was really trying hard to have amazing graphics.
Well, and I think that's when you start going into those titles where it's, the not computer-aided, it's not CAD, it's animation brought into the digital form. And because it's hand-drawn, that kind of doesn't get, you don't lose that over time, right? Because it's not like it's very pixelated and you're going, oh, I really wonder how that would have looked if it was a full real scan. Like in high definition, that's, other than the crispness of lines when you get into even larger displays, but if you're on a small enough display on 1080p, this pretty much looks as if you probably had picked up an actual sketch he's done in paper. So again, to your point, it does have a little bit of timelessness to that, and then you really get that
the art is what it is. So you get to kind of appreciate from its artistic form. What I've loved that they added starting in Battle Block Theater and brought over to the Pit People is a lot more of this voiceover, the narration. The first two games.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Banjo-Kazooie style of just like nonsense.
Oh yeah,
with the text, which is great. I like that right away.
Yeah, my son hates the narrator from Battle Block Theater, so the fact that he was brought back into Pit People and it's just like Horatio must die. You're like, yeah, that is. I definitely appreciate what they've done in kind of bringing back those ones that did make when, in my opinion, Battle Block kind of brought their franchises up a bit notch. This left off right, or takes off right where that had left off. But again, the game itself is a standalone. It's completely different. It's not like you could say, oh, does he play Battle Block? Okay, well, this is, really the only thing that they share is, okay, it's the same narrator and the art style is the same, but in terms of like a gameplay dynamic, it's a completely different game. It's a turn-based strategy.
Yeah.
Again, the downfall, in my opinion, at least for right now, is if they don't do anything to up it a notch, I think it's going to be left somewhat nerfed. With that being said, and for our show people, the Insane Co-op Challenge with that the auto battler right now is, I don't know if they're going to get rid of that. If they do get rid of that, this game could become a lot more grindy. Yeah. I don't know if difficult's the right word, but it will become a lot
grindy,
more.
yeah. Because as it is right now, you can probably get all of the achievements minus the get someone to level 80 in under 5 hours, is my guess.
Yep.
And then getting to level 80 auto battling is, I don't know, what, 10 to 15 hours on top of that?
Yeah, about, because I just had to, I don't have an auto A, so I just had to
you can turbo it. If you have a turbo controller, you can turbo it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So so there's that, and that could very well get much more difficult. But then that brings me to kind of the second thing is, so this, you would think with a game like this where there's not a lot of focus on leveling, there's no focus on leveling, not a lot of focus on gear. Well, you can swap a couple of things. It's really just the class of weapon or armor that you put on. It's not with the specific piece. Yeah. So you'd think, the focus is in the strategy of choosing your moves, but then there's an auto battler, as you mentioned, that it doesn't always pick the best moves, but it's pretty competent.
Yeah.
And so you can basically sim all the combat, which if you want to experience the humor in the story, that's fine, but it's kind of like, it almost eliminates all of the gameplay by doing that. Which, I don't know, maybe that's what they're going for, but I don't know. It seems out of place in a game where there's not, where the focus seems to be on the strategy aspect, where you can just sim it. Where if it was a game like Final Fantasy, for example, once you get to level 50, all the level 2 stuff is just a pain. So yeah, just sim it. Sim your battles so you don't have to deal with them and just win, because you're going to win in one hit anyway. But so that was a bit odd, and again, it might change in the final release anyway. But if you're going for the achievements, take advantage of it now.
Yeah. No, and that was like Castle Crashers Remastered when they had their, whatever that one mode was. If you did it right at the launch, it was a lot easier. You could just kind of mash your buttons and turbo it, and they got like, they soon discovered, we need to turn off that nerfing. So yeah, if you're a completionist and you enjoy these games, but you want to take advantage of when something might be a little easier than it should be, this would be kind of the time. And hey, again, 25% off. Does that mean it might not be? It might become a Games for Gold. Battle Block was Games for Gold. So they definitely have a partnership with Microsoft at times over the years that you could potentially see this go to be a Games with Gold. You don't know, but again, by the time, if you wait around for it,
it might get harder. Yeah. Now, do you think they're going to add more achievements when it goes full release?
See, the thing is, there is one of the achievements. So you didn't finish the tentative story. So
no, I was mostly playing around, exploring, kind of catching some different fighters, and then playing in the pit.
Yeah, so with the story mode, it definitely left off on a cliffhanger, and one of the achievements was related to getting through to that part. So I could definitely see if they continue the story, which they definitely left it open, and they've even said that the story's not complete, and even the number of quests you complete, I could definitely see there being a complete all the side quests, complete all of these achievements, and then it's going to be a question, well, do you add that as a title update, like a la Minecraft? I don't know. It definitely...
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know how the other ones work, but I would assume, depending on how long they wait, that they could just say, yeah, this is a title update. Here's another 500 points.
Yep. For
the rest of the game. So.
Yeah, I could definitely see there's potential up there that they could be adding more achievements to it. There's definitely things in there that are achievement related that you could see happening that would force people to keep playing. However, will they actually do it? I don't know. They haven't done it on their other titles in the past. They've just kind of left you could sit there and I'm going to get all the weapons in Castle Crashers, but there's no achievement related. So it very well could be, that's it. These are the achievements, and this is all there is. But, they definitely left it open with story, with quest, with everything out there, that there's a lot more that could be done once it's out of game preview. So, which is kind of nice, right? So it's a preview game, but it's not like if you play it in preview, it's going to be finished forever. Could be. I mean, if they never do anything else, just leave it. You never know. But.
So with that, I think even in its preview state, I could recommend it at $15.
You're going to get a few
quality.
hours.
It's a quality title.
You're going to get a few hours of fun out of this, and if you enjoy the humor, which it definitely is, it's not subtle in how much humor it is. It is an overdosing of good humor, and it's fun. It's fun to get into. So,
and I guess the other thing to note too is, although you can complete the achievements in 5 hours, there's a lot more content in the game beyond the achievements.
Yeah.
So that's just doing the main quest, then simming a bunch of fights, and then exploring a little bit. But there's plenty more, and it's a much longer game than completing the achievements.
Yep.
So yeah.
Sounds good.
With that, we will see you next week.
All right. Thanks again. Have fun.
All right, well, let's wrap this show up. I hope you enjoyed everything that we had. You'll have to let us know, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you like the new format, if you think things move around. We're totally open ears for that. I figure since I have the opportunity here to close out the show, I might as well let you know what I've been up to. Not that you guys maybe care or are interested, but man, I've been all laid up with surgery, so I've been able to play a little bit of video games, I had mentioned. I think last show I was significant in the Disney Infinity and moved over to Nicktoons, that Nicktoons MLB. I finally finished the tournament in that one. It's super obnoxious. Now I'm looking at it, and I don't know why the completion is so high on that game, because it is quite time-consuming. You have to beat then every single Major League team in there. Now, granted, you can change all of the settings to like 3-inning games and really easy rookie pitching and stuff, which helps quite a bit, but it doesn't solve all the problems. You still have to play the games, and I think there's like 50-some cards, which means there's like 50-some different things to do to unlock the full game, or the full achievement list. So I'm chipping away at that. I have a spreadsheet now, and of course, I have to play 9-inning games until I unlock a couple of the more difficult, not maybe difficult's the wrong word, but more significant ones where like you need a guy to account for 10 RBIs. Right, so you got to make sure he's cranking home runs, and my ability in this game is pretty terrible. So getting 10 RBIs, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And then somebody's got to hit for the cycle, and you got to find those speedsters so you can get the triple. Now, TA's got some really great guides, so I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. As far as, like, actually the Major League teams that I still need to play, I mean, there's still 23 teams. I got to play 23 games yet. It's like, man, that's a lot to do. But chipping away again. My goal is to finish that this year. We had our regular Diablo and Battleborn. I played some Battleborn this weekend or last weekend with the double credits. Because you can unlock the DLC characters by in-game credits, and so if you earn enough, you can get the full achievement list without having to pay any of the DLC. Of course, you can shortcut it and get them through the season pass, but I'm going to take the cheapskate route. And then Diablo, of course, I'm just tagging along with my hardcore character. I power leveled on Monday because I had kept missing, and I had to go to bed early last week, and so I think I showed up at level 15 maybe, and level 15 I got all the way up to like 22 on Monday night in 2 hours, just because we had 4 people. They were much further in the game. Which is kind of a bummer because all the drops then are for like level 24, 25, 26 level characters. And it's like, I got all this like really great gear that just is taunting me in my inventory. And then with the news of snap mode being eliminated, that prompted me to kind of take a look at any open games, because I had already done the 1 in 3s that I mentioned for the achievement sponsors. That was all taken care of. But one of the biggest users of the Snap achievements crossover has been apps. So that you can use the app on the side. And of course, the True Achievements app is one of those. And so I had done the 2 achievement app ones where it's like look up a solution or something like that. Those are all taken care of. What I didn't do, and actually it's quite nice because challenges are essentially a thing of the past. Nobody wants to make them anymore or do them except State of Decay, and then there's some Xbox Fitness, but that's unlimited time. And then Forza Horizon 3 had a few, but I don't have Forza Horizon 3. But I do have State of Decay. And so there is a True Achievements app achievement for unlocking a challenge with TA in Snap mode with the solution to that challenge. It's like, wow, okay, that's a lot to process. And of course, the State of Decay ones are every month. Okay, I'm going to say right now, I haven't done it. I haven't completed the challenge for the month, and I'm recording this on the 29th. I'm hoping tonight I can do it. It's very, I only have 2 days. Crossing my fingers because I played a lot of Breakdown in State of Decay. Now, the normal game, it's tricky, but there's a storyline to it, and you kind of, I assume things ramp up, and you get a little bit more help. Now, Breakdown is kind of like, you just get thrown into the world, and it's like, hey, just go survive. Do your best and see what happens. And so that's it, right? And not playing the main game to like be introduced into some of the mechanics, it was really tough. And I didn't realize how well off my first go at it was. As I ended up playing through, and I didn't, of course, I don't know the base building mechanics and how to keep people happy. And so, like, everybody's sick. The guys I'm running with are just exhausted and weak. But, like, I spent enough time where I could find the RV, start to fix it up, and I got to the point where I needed more fuel to get the RV going. And that's the challenge for this month. And so I was kind of cruising around looking for fuel, but I had let things lapse too much, and I had gotten decent far in the game, but I just couldn't pull it off in the end, and my guy got killed. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to be better prepared this next time because now I know what I need to do. I know to keep people happy. I know to set up outposts and make sure that we're scavenging and doing all that stuff. And so I come into my first game, like I think I played 4 more games from the start, and was promptly ripped to pieces by feral zombies. I mean, they would pounce on me, and then they would just grab my head and legs and just pull me apart like a wishbone. I mean, it's remarkably graphic and very disheartening when you just cannot, like, barely even start a base, and a zombie horde is just shredding you and any of your survivor friends around. So I'm now at a point where I've got a stable base. I got happy people, decent sized community, building facilities. I think so far I've unlocked like 10 achievements. I think just doing this breakdown stuff right now. Somewhere between 7 and 10 achievements. They come relatively quick. And now kind of since everything's open in the Year 1 Survival Edition on the Xbox, you can unlock in whatever mode, unless they're very specific for that mode. Like the breakdown ones are very specific for breakdown because you got to complete level 1, but some of them cross over, and they're kind of listed in the TA walkthrough guide. And now I will say a word of caution if you want to do the stack. And at some point I do, but of course the 360 version does not have challenges, and so I've got to go straight to the 1 version, and I will duplicate my efforts on the 360. But the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One have an import save function, and you can kind of go back and forth. So you can take your save, import it, and if you happen to be at a spot in your game that you could unlock achievements in, they will unlock in the 1 version, and then you can play on the 360 and continue to overwrite your save. Now, there's things in the 1 version that you have to do anyway, but for instance, if you're playing Breakdown in the 360 version, there's an achievement that's pretty time-consuming where you have to do all of the research trees. Takes a lot of time. You want to do it in Breakdown level 1 when the zombies there's more resources, the zombies aren't quite as prevalent, and you have the opportunity to, continue to do all that research. Well, if you make your save right before the research is done, and then import it to the 360, you can unlock that achievement right away. Save yourself a ton of time. Those are the types of achievements you want to kind of gun for. But ultimately, you're still going to have to drive and hit 100 dudes with a car door. You're still going to have to survive to Breakdown 7 unless you can import your save over. All right? So you can go back to the 360, play some more, and then when you're ready to unlock another one, import it to the 1, play it there, go back to the 360, play it, and earn that achievement there. So just kind of a tip for all of you who are going for that stack. As far as the game goes, my goodness, I'm loving this game. I wish I went back. I played this when it first came out. It was always one of those things like, I knew I'd like it because it's a zombie game, right? I knew I'd like it, and I was like, I'm going to save it. I'm going to tuck it into this tiny little cubby, and then when it's the perfect time, when the time is right, I'm going to play it and I'm going to love it so much. Well, of course, that time never came because my backlog just got massive, and so I just kept putting it off. Well, now, thank you to Snap Mode being phased out, it's actually prompted me to play this game, and I'm so glad I did. I'm really, really enjoying it. It is much more difficult than I thought it would be. I mean, like, these survival mechanics in here and keeping everybody afloat, your dude is pretty darn fragile. Like, stamina bars, that's a serious thing, and, like, you think of it as time passes, and the guy's like, "Oh man, I really gotta turn in for the night." And you're like, "I've only been playing for like 20 minutes," but like, technically he's done 2 day-night cycles. It's like, yeah, okay, I get why you're tired. I mean, you've been awake for 48 hours. Okay, that makes sense. I'm fine with it. It's pretty darn real. All right, that's enough of State of Decay. I love it though, absolutely love it. Hopefully, when I come on the show next week, I'm talking about how awesome getting the True Achievements app. Snap Mode challenge kabang done. That's what I'm hoping for. I needed obviously in the month of January we did the Mokas January achievement for zzUrban getting 2017 gamer score, and I looked at my month starting this week and I was at 990. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty darn close. That's only 1,027 away. I got an easy 1,000 here, and I had some issues with it before. I'm wondering if I can get it to work, and that would just be a quick 1,000, and then I can just find 27 points. That's not so bad. So I ended up buying Energy Cycle. Okay, it is as easy as it's written, right? It took me 25 minutes, I think, and to be honest, it would have gone faster if I could convince my son to read off the walkthrough. Because having to hold my finger on my screen and do, okay, L1, A1, R2, A2, and knowing how to go up and right and left, because the way it's written is set up as a grid, but the way your cursor moves, it jumps over gaps. So you can't just look at it and go, okay, left one. You actually have to look at the screen and make sure it lines up relatively close. Some of them, it's fine because there's enough of those bips that are up there that'll just move for you. But others where you have to jump a gap, that throws off the whole count. And so that becomes really obnoxious. So I'm sitting here with this stupid laptop on my lap going, item by item to make sure that I'm doing it correct. But when I had first tried it, I did the unfortunate thing of having 2 profiles signed in at the same time. causes tons of issues, didn't work. So I was nervous that had precluded me from getting the achievements. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to buy it. It's like $3. I'll just pay the money and I'll do it and see if it works. And of course it did. Level 3 completed. It's like, oh, well, now that I'm here, I might as well just finish the whole game. So I think my GTA SC team is upset because I effectively burned a 1,000 point bonus, but we're a bunch of casuals. It's not going to matter. So anyway, energy cycle, super easy. Boom, out, gone. And those are one of my E's for the birthday tag. I also ended up looking for some other achievements, and I played Orbit. Quick one there for 25 points, meaning I'm 2 points away from 2017. This is going to be perfect, right? So I get into polychromatic, and there's a bunch of weird point scores at the beginning of the game, like super quick. They even out within the first 4 achievements, but it's like starting a game, getting killed 5 times, finishing a game, and getting shot at 5 times or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I got the 2 for starting a game, and my next one, the 2-pointer that I'm looking for, is getting shot 5 times. So I fired up one of the modes, and I'm like cruising around, just dodging everybody. And I know there's an achievement for dodging for like 60 seconds or something. So I was like, I actually tried to kill myself a few times to make sure that didn't happen. But I'm cruising around. I'm like, oh, none of the shooting guys are spawning. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Well, I picked the wrong mode. And so it's like, oh, okay, I'll just finish this and go to finish that next mode. And so I finished the one. Forgot I didn't get the achievement first go round for completing a game for 3 points, meaning I'm now sitting on 2018 gamer score for the month of January. So I overshot my goal. Unbelievable, right? All right, so I went back. First achievement I unlocked in the month was a 10-pointer, which means I had a 9-pointer open. Hey, TA, you've got a great search function. What are my 9-point achievements? And it just so happened that there's one in the game Anode, which is, your kind of your Tetris thing for, you kind of drop the blocks, link up these lights or whatever. And this one had a multiplayer achievement where you use an item on your opponent. So I fired up my second controller and idled it. And unfortunately, that guy kept losing because he wasn't moving his things around. So I actually had to like two-hand this thing so I could move some of the bips around, the blocks, so that they didn't, stack up and end the game. But you need to get 5 or 7. You need to get 7 blips with one of those exploders, and that's what triggers your item. And then you go, boom, you hit Y and use the item. 9-point achievement. There we go. So take off the first 10. I'm at 2017 for the Mocos January Challenge. Oh boy. What else did I do this week? Hey, Titanfall Thursday. So thankfully, my amazing friends in the Titanfall community this Thursday, because it happened to be Australia Day, and I'm sure Tarragon talked about it in the show, they decided to jump in on our Titanfall session because they didn't have to work on Friday. And so, holy cats, this thing was chock full of people. It was awesome. And I was so thankful that we were able to get everybody to commit to playing the campaign. And so we played the campaign in Japan West, had full teams on each side. Of course, it starts me on the first level of the campaign, so we have to play all 9 games in a row. But it did give me the IMC campaign win that I need. I think Mighty Mango got his too that night. And so, oh my goodness, what a relief. I know I had to force the system, right? I didn't do it, quote unquote, legit. I don't care. I'm so happy to be done with this awful campaign experience. Now we can do some serious boosting, get to Gen 8 and just, boost wins or weapon kills or whatever we need to do. So, I'm thinking we're going to start wrapping this game up pretty darn quick here. Well, maybe not that quick. It still takes some time, but at least we'll be doing some more serious boosting for Titanfall. So, other than that, I went and I'm going to kind of start chipping away at the birthday tag challenges. I did a couple e-games and then went back to my State of Decay. I'm at a point now in State of Decay where I've found the RV, and instead of getting fuel for it like I needed the first time I got the RV, one of the stinky bloater zombies apparently exploded inside of it, and so it needs to be disinfected, which means I need a whole bunch of medical supplies. we'll see how that plays out. That's it for me, guys. A ton of achievements, actually. I've actually been kind of cruising through a lot of these. That's exciting. But, it is what it is. Now, let's talk about zombie news in general. Because I've got some zombie news, and it is Resident Evil 7. Crazy popular right now. People are really excited about it. Think it's super exciting. And I believe I mentioned before, maybe I did on the show, maybe I didn't, but there is a Resident Evil escape room. Okay, and it was in LA, and apparently it was so successful, people loved it so much that it has now garnered a 2017 nationwide tour. Yeah. So there are 6 sites, and it's going to be starting here on February 8th. So if you live in Portland or San Francisco, you can go hit up the Resident Evil 7 escape room experience. So it goes for like a month. So February 8th to March 5th in Portland and San Francisco. Then it moves to Boston and New York, East Coast, from February 22nd to March 19th. And then us Midwesters in Chicago and Austin, Texas, in March 8th to April 2nd. So if that tickles your fancy at all, Resident Evil escape rooms. So I'm looking at kind of it's $35. At least the Portland one is. I'm looking at the Portland, what it is here. They had the sellout run in LA, and spots are filling up quick, so you got to go. I was looking at some of the frequently asked questions. You got 6 people. It's a 6-man crew. So hopefully that that fits with you. It's like a raid team, a Destiny raid team. Although I don't think you're going to be actually killing zombies. You might be. I don't know. And then of course there's kind of an age limit, right? It's a mature game, so you need to be 17 or older. But it's just like any other escape room stuff. There's a guy there to help you with clues if you need it, but you're going to be locked in. And you got to solve the little crime thing. I don't know if it's going to be scary or not. I think that's what worries me, is that it would be like just terrifying. Because I watched some, like a couple streams on Resident Evil, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I am not sure I'm going to be able to stomach that game. I mean, I'm even like nervous about playing Resident Evil 6, and that one's like action shooter. That is so far from survival horror that I don't know. It is what it is. I think that's it. That's all I want to talk about in zombie news. Let's quick hit up. It is, like I mentioned, the end of the month. So if you're, finished your January birthday tags, redemption denied, zzUrban, get those in. February is Mattism and Posty, Mattism, and Posty, Posty. Those are your gamer tags for this month. So, gosh, I might do State of Decay for both of those quick. That might be, there's an S in both of them. That'd be a good crossover for me. As far as the Zed to Zed monthly challenge, this is this last month, January, was Disney Infinity. So if you had played any Disney Infinity games in the month, you get a raffle ticket for every achievement you earned. I think I got 9 this month, 9 or 10. I don't know, 9 or 10. Of course, I'm not eligible, but if that was you, you'd be eligible. And I do have some previous completions. So if you have some previous completions, even that Windows Phone toy box thing, that totally counts. That'll get you 10 entries for that, that old school game. So any completion, you get 10 credits for. So get into the forums, post your games, post your progress. Let me know where to look, who to look for, and get yourself eligible for some prizes. As far as February goes, Love and Hearts. I mean, it's Valentine's month, so we're looking for any achievement in the games that have the word love or heart in the title. I used these examples before. I will use them again. Make It Rain, the love of money, right? Love, you heard that. Nightmares of the Deep, the cursed heart, right? There it is in there. Co-Hope Puzzles, or Heart Z, Co-Hope Puzzles. I think I mentioned that was the achievement of the week last week. That game works. So any achievement in those games, or you can even unlock a single achievement with those words in it. So there's one, Colder Than the Devil's Heart in Max Payne 3, right? the word love or heart in the individual achievement. Of course, that only works for that specific achievement. I can't unlock other Max, like, the Shadows Rushed Me in Max Payne 3. That doesn't count. There's no love or heart in there. But this particular one does. So that's another way to get entries. So good luck in February. I hope you have fun with that. Random to-do list starts up. See how those lists do. I re-tailored my list for February, so I'm hoping it's a little bit easier. I am still 2 days away from haven't unlocking an achievement in my to-do list. I'm going to work on one tonight, so I hope I can give you some good news after this records that I indeed did not break my my 2017 New Year's resolution goal of staying in the random to-do list, not getting kicked out. That would be unfortunate if I lost it in the first month. Oh my God. So anyway, I got that ahead of me. zzUrban, his 2017, if you were doing the 2017 January challenge, the Welcome to the Future one, you likely had planned that and have already posted it. You still have a few days. He's going to do kind of what I do and go till the 7th. So you've got time. But I do know what February is. And so, by the time this comes out, I think it'll be February 1st. So you can check it on the forums, forum.zzed.com. Or, I'll just tell you what it is here. It's called From Poland with Love is the February challenge. And of course, zzUrban is from Poland. He's Polish. I know his real name, and I use his gamer tag because I butcher his real name every time. There's like a bunch of J's and like a C, like CEIJ. I don't even know what that is in English, so I feel bad every time I say it, but I appreciate his generosity to the show. So zzUrban is Polish, and he wants to celebrate all of the Polish developers that are out there. So you gain one entry for every achievement earned in games developed or co-developed by Polish studios. I have no idea what that list is off the top of my head, so I gotta go find them. If you have already completed a game from any studio that comes out of Poland, that you can get 5 entries for that one. So I think Playdead, are they from Poland or are they from Denmark? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to have to look. I will look at my Polish developers and see if I qualify for anything or what games that might be. I'm sure there'll be some talk in the forums about it, about, hey, who counts, what counts. So if you have any curious, inclinations about what might work, of course, it's the internet, right? You can find everything, but it might be a little bit better concentrated information in the forum post. So go take a look at that. Finally, I want to mention, all of our boosting and co-op groups, similarly to what I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Titanfall, Diablo, Destiny, Elite Dangerous, Overwatch, Battleborn. Those are all going strong, kind of meet once a week, or at least have conversations ongoing all the time. WWE, I think, is ending soon. I think Big L is going to shut that one down. And, oh boy, what did he say was going to open up? Oh, it was a game I wanted to play too. Oh, he was kicking around the idea of Left 4 Dead or Gotham City Imposters. Those are both, semi-regular, large-scale boosting sessions that you can set up, certainly for the multiplayer in those. And Gotham City Imposters is all multiplayer pretty much. That thing is obnoxious. That's the one I voted for because I still have to do those slap happy kills. I'm like halfway done. I'm at level 50 something. You need to get to level 100. But there's the cheat you can do once you get up into the 50s. It's not easy. I don't know how to do it well, but suffice it to say, I still got to do the slap kills, so I'll take that out of the way. Anyway, I'm hoping it's GCI. If it's not, I'll be fine. I don't need to finish Gotham City Imposters. And that's going to pretty much do it. Good luck to everyone in the GTA SC, like I mentioned earlier in the show. But, if you want us to track you, let us know. Other than that, hey, I want to thank all of you for taking some time out, listening to the show. We really appreciate it. It was great. So if you, our listeners, wanted to help us out, I know we're making some changes. We moved some of the stuff around in this show. We're making some changes behind the scenes. There's a lot going on. And if you want to help, if you like what you listen to, we would love it if you would take an opportunity to rate us on your favorite podcast app. Man, that helps spread the word really, really well. You can also, the social medias, post it to your Twitter feed, Facebook, whatever. That is great. gosh, we can't thank you enough for promoting and telling people about the show. It helps get more listeners and helps provide us with more content to get people like zzUrban coming up with contests and stuff. I love it. It's fantastic. And if you haven't been there yet, you should go to our website, zzed.com. There's all of our show notes, credits, links to things that we've talked about during the show. And there are so many ways to reach us. Of course, our email address, contact@zzed.com. That's a direct email to all of us here. Twitter is an awesome way to get a hold of us, @ZZ, ZEDTOZED. Of course, you can send us private messages pretty much everywhere. Xbox Live, TrueAchievements.com. Even better, you can private message us on our forums, forum.zzed.com, or you can send us a direct message in Discord, discord.me/zzed. Those are all great places to chat with us, and man, we're hanging out in Discord, and I'm looking at the forum all the time. So you will definitely not be missed on those. You will not be missed in the sense that I will not miss your post. You'll be missed if you don't show up. I'll be sad if you don't show up. You should go. In that regard, I want to thank all of the sites and tools that make this show possible. Libsyn, Discord, Trello, Twitter, Discourse, Zencaster, Skype, and True Achievements. You guys all provide awesome tools for the show. And to all the sites and games media that help us get all the information for the show and help us be an effective achievement hunting community, we so appreciate it. And of course, we can't do this without Microsoft and the awesome Xbox console. So on behalf of everybody who's been on the show so far, this has been Brandon. And to all of you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you next episode. Have a good one.
That's our episode name this week. Space Trek.
It's not.
I quit. As sung by Babylon Zoo.
With
Space Trek, I always wanted you.
With the incorrect spelling of Trek. I actually missed that there were 2 more parts to this. I saw the first bit, and I thought that was the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so did you want to read the other bits there, Randy?
Yeah.
At this point in the show, everybody, Randy's learning how to read.
Wait, am I reading this out loud? Or am I just reading it?
Rock band.
I was hoping you'd read it out loud, but that's okay. I just put a note on the timeline.
Cloud.
Oni.
All these
yeah, so I was hoping you'd read it out loud, but if you want to read it quietly, then I put a note there which I'll edit. So
Okay, hold on. I'll read it first.
This is where you guys should be happy I'm on the show.